Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome back to this week's GKP Live. Hope everybody's good. I hope everybody's had a good week up to press. Usual thing. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everyone. How's it going, guys? You good?
Yeah.
Not too bad.
We had a little video sent from our dads this evening and dropped it in the community chat, our community chat. I can't believe that, Daz. The size of those koi, that's nuts, mate. That is absolute. They are already now double the size of some that we had that had got into like 6-7 months old last year.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Amazing difference. Didn't it?
Yeah, they look really
Yeah,
well
a
fed.
little bit of feedback from
Eating.
somebody.
They're eating crazy.
Can you hear that?
Yeah,
Caca!
Can't hear any feedback.
I thought I could hear someone playing in the background. Or I could hear myself talking in the background. No, maybe not. I'm just double checking, make sure I've not got anything still running in background. No, we're good. We're good. Let me know if you can hear out, guys. We've got a couple of questions for this evening, and we've got one real simple, quick, easy one, which we'll kick off with this evening, which is going to be fantastically simple to answer. This one is from Chris Henton, which says, "What time is everyone getting to the national show on Sunday? So if you could do us a favour, all those that's going there on Sunday, what time are you expecting to be there for, and what time? Who are you going to meeting?" Daz, what time are we looking at? I think we're aiming for like 9:30ish, aren't we?
Yeah.
What?
So
Yeah.
it starts at 9.
No, it starts at 10.
Starts at 9. 9:05.
I thought it started at 10.
Secretary?
Unless it's
I
later.
was told it started at 9:05, but maybe that's better if it starts at 10.
Yeah.
And we'll be there for 10, which is even better. We don't have to rush
As I said, that's what time me and Rocket Boy were aiming to be there.
for 10. Right, well, 10 o'clock then. If you're aiming for being there for 10, Vince, then we'll see you there at 10. Right.
Yeah, Rocket Boys. Me and Rocket Boy will be leaving here about 7:45. It takes about 2 hours. So.
Yeah.
2 hours. 2 hours for you. I thought you'd have been quicker than that, to be fair. I'm not sure how far or how long it's going to be for us to get there, but I'm reckoning it's probably going to be pushing close to 3.5 hours. Something like that. I would have
There's
thought.
9 till 3.
It is 9 till 3.
Yeah. That's quite an early finish, isn't it?
Nah, I can't be finishing at 3. Well, what's that say there? What we got? Yeah, 9:05. Yeah, it is. Thank you, Skeggy. Appreciate that, mate. Yeah, 9:05. So there you go. We could be there for 9 o'clock. But you see, if we don't get there now and we get there at 10 o'clock, all those bargains in the first hour, you're going to be watching everybody marching out with all those good fish.
We'll be
And all
gutted.
those balls and all those bargains that everybody could have sneaked and picked up very quick.
I'm not allowed to come home with any fish. Famous last word.
I'm allowed to come home with a fish because it's my birthday.
Yes, Daz is allowed to come up with 13 fish because it's a birthday, and it's always, 13 is the lucky number for Japan, isn't it? So Daz is going to be picking up 13.
Yeah, must be because I live at number 13.
No,
Yeah, see? Meant to be, Daz. It's meant to
Yes.
be. Ricky will be joining us. He's going to be running a little bit late this evening, but he will be joining us sometime soon. Don't know exactly when, but he will be coming, he said. There is a link there in the top of the chat, and I would love it if we can get somebody on a little bit different. DT, you're around there, mate. It's 9:05, bud. But yeah, 9:05 apparently. So what we're going to do, we're aiming for being there for 10 then, yeah?
Yeah.
We're all going to be disappointed when all the good fish have gone.
Susan's just literally come out the back door and you're not throwing any fucking fish.
Yeah, but what you have to do, Vince, is say that just tell it was a free gift.
What's that saying?
given
Is it better to ask for forgiveness than for permission?
Yeah.
Was that you'll be sleeping in long block if you come back with another fish?
Yeah, something like that.
Right then. If anybody's got any topics or any conversations they would like to ask any of us this evening, can you type them out in capital letters so they stand out a little bit more? It's no good. I mean, I watched through the oh, sorry, up north Guy-Pond. There we go. Well, I'll you in there, mate. Nice one.
Oh, fucking hell. How we doing, Ewok?
All right.
What time are you aiming to be there Sunday?
Probably opening.
Oh, you're going for 9. See, told you. 9 o'clock, Daz. We're going for 9.
Yeah. Well, tell Vince we'll be there at 10 and we'll get it for 9.
Yeah, that's it. We can
Rocket
fill
Boy,
the-
we're going to have to change the time. Gaz has thrown a fucking spanner in the works.
Well, you never know.
Tell
do you?
Dave to get his skates on.
You might miss that ultimate bargain. That's not a fish, Vince. Then what?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there is that. Mind you, Rocket Boy's used to getting up at early o'clock in the morning because he does a paper round, doesn't he? So he's paper boy to the stars. You know, he delivers Andrew Lloyd Webber's papers and stuff like that.
How's
Lovely.
the pond looking, mate?
You what, sorry?
Well,
How's the pond looking?
Empty.
Empty. Must have been an hard one, bud. Must have been difficult to do, but I guess
Yeah,
you
difficult,
gotta bite the
but
bullet, haven't you?
at some point you've just got to do what you've got to do, haven't you?
I'm
Yeah.
still running behind on videos. So have you done the whole pond or just infected ones?
No, just the infected ones.
And have you given them all the last treatments to the others? Then you given them all the last courses of vaccinations?
Well, the ones that aren't showing any signs, you don't really need to do up to them. As you know, as long as they're not showing any signs of any infection, then just leave them be.
Yeah,
Fingers
definitely.
Fingers crossed that no else comes up and rears its ugly head again. But saying that,
Yeah,
you're still heated up. You're still warm, aren't you? Temperature's 24 degrees, aren't you?
I'm at 25 now.
25.
Well, he's got air source heat pump, isn't he? So
Yeah. Well, I mean, if anything was going to come out, you'd have expected it to be doing it at that temperature as well.
oh yeah, definitely right.
Well, I'm gonna leave it. I think I'm gonna leave it to go through its natural cycle now. Coming into winter, and then I'm gonna let it drop down to winter temperature, and then come back up naturally through spring and summer next year, I think.
And see how it
And
goes
then-
without having the heat source pump running.
Well, if oak's gonna crop up, it's gonna do it then when temperature comes back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're actually gonna see a saving this winter then, if you're not gonna have the heat pump running that much.
Yeah, I mean,
Fucking hell. You
the heat pump's still going to be switched on because I'm just going to have it sat at a low temperature just to keep it stable. But it's not going to be
don't
heating
let us
it.
see the bill afterwards, because otherwise it'll be you ain't turning that fucking heat pump back on.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep that one quiet, mate. Once you realise how much cheaper it was this year on electric bill,
Yeah.
ever again. Well, other than that, what are you looking forward to from show then, everybody?
For me,
Just seeing fish.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this fish. I want to get some bits for around the pond as well. You know those like foam fish that we got from the Oaks, Gaz? You got
the pack,
yeah. I'm hoping I'll be able to pick a few of those up to put on my koi house and the
on the front on that pond bit, yeah.
well, I watched
Desert's koi pond, Desert's koi farm as well.
I watched Mike Koi Beginnings short, and just from his short, it does look like it is bigger this year.
Does it?
Yes, it does. He
That's
did a
good.
short yesterday. He's there helping filling up vats and stuff. Must be, but yeah, he's got a bloody great hose in his hand. And he pans round, and I got to admit, it does look bigger than it was last year.
Yeah. Well, I've never
That's
been,
good.
so it's the first time for me.
Ooh, breaking your national cherry.
Yeah.
Which one is the national the one at the indoor building?
No,
Is it right? So it's all right. So yeah, it's the outdoor event one that we
it's
went.
the outdoor event. Yeah.
So when the first show one I ever went to was that one, when I took my wife and my grandson and my daughter and me.
Last year we had fucking showers, didn't we?
I didn't go last year down that one. I didn't do that
Yeah,
one.
Simon did, didn't you? We dashed in between fucking tents.
It rained the year before as well. Just as we pulled up, it just stopped, and it stayed dry throughout the whole time that we were there. So, but it had rained pretty hard and pretty bad beforehand. There were a fair few people walking out.
Was it like a beam of light shining down on you guys?
Oh, right. DKP turned up. That's it. Came out. Yeah. It was slightly different though, like that on that event though. It was that was the early beginning stages of my channel.
Yeah.
All right, we've got a couple of questions. We might as well hit into some, and hopefully by that time maybe Rick's joined us on one or two. We've got a question, and I'm not sure not sure on the actual name of the gentleman, Mark Bate, and the question is. Slow pond turnover or turn the pond over as often as possible. What do you reckon that one? Because there is a minimum turnover, isn't there?
Yeah.
Ideally.
It all depends on what.
But I think it
filtration you're
depends on
using
your
as well.
filter as well, doesn't it?
Longer dwelling times in filters.
Well, I've noticed with the little multi-bay that I've got running on the IBC tank, I've got a 3,600 litre an hour pump running that. And I know for a fact if I put anything bigger on there, the filter won't handle it.
Yeah.
Just
No,
physically
and the pump-
won't handle the flow. So, you know, it all goes into what filters you're using and everything else. I mean, I'm using an Easy Pod on the bottom drain, and I've got a 10,000 litre an hour pump going through there, and a 3,000 gallon pond.
Yeah. Depends on how heavy your feeding regime is as well, doesn't it? I mean, if you're
Mine's
really
very heavy at the moment.
Recommended amount is once every 2 hours.
Old school recommendation, yeah.
You'd like to think that most of us were turning those ponds over once every 2 hours. Some of us will be turning it over way more than that. But
if you look on EA's recommendations for a Nexus, it says that they found best to be every 2 to 3 hours.
yeah, because it gets a longer dwelling time through the filter media.
Yeah.
For the staff.
Yeah.
Firing it through too fast, you're just going to wash all your fine straight through it, aren't you? So you can see, like you said, it's different types of filter systems require different times. But if you're going through too slow,
You can.
negative effect
on
the ship off the bottom of the pond.
I think because everybody's filters are so much different. I think everybody's just got to experiment with their own ponds, haven't they?
Yeah, this is it. I mean, no two ponds are the same that I've got. Everyone's different.
So
that's one of my biggest excuses. I'm not fucking around with it. I'm just fine tuning.
I do a lot of fine tuning.
You've got to do the one, especially if you've made your own system. God damn, it takes some right tinkering around to eventually get a sweet spot. And it only takes that one slight alteration, and you've cocked it up, and it takes ages to get yourself back there again.
Yeah,
so that pisses me off. That thing. I only have to mess around with the air once, and I can balls it up big time.
Yeah,
I'm talking pumping, overflowing, and all sorts crap going everywhere. Media all on the floor. I've had it a few times over these last couple of months, but again, just modifications that need to be done and alterations that I need to make to what I've made for myself. So I suppose, every pond's different, really, isn't it? But like a drum, I would imagine that they've got a fairly rapid turnover with the amount that they clean and how often they go off and clean every 20 minutes or so. You would have thought that they'd be putting through quite faster turnovers. I don't know because I don't have one, so I don't know what it would actually be. How often?
The faster you pull, the faster you're going to pull the water through a drum, the quicker it's going to clean, isn't it? Because and the more often it's going to clean. So if you're pulling lots of water through, you're pulling all them fines through, it's going to clog up that screen a lot quicker, which means it's going to clean more often. And then with the cleaning more often, you're using more water, more electric.
Yeah.
Well,
it all depends on what size. All depends on what size micro mesh is inside them as well.
Because you can upgrade it, can't you? You can go finer, or you can have coarser grades. So you can fine tune that as well, to depending on. Well, I suppose that would be probably the governing thing on it, wouldn't it? On a drum. I don't know because I've never had one, and I don't know. I haven't really listened or looked into them. They're out of my league, so.
I think the standard on them is somewhere about 60 to 70 micron or something like that.
That's quite fine, then, isn't it? Quite fine.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Is there anyone out there in the comments or watching that runs a Cetus sieve, and is willing to come on and give me your thoughts on it?
yeah, if anybody does want to come on, anybody else that's not ever been on and joined us, we have 2 free spaces. Feel free to jump on in. Let's get some new faces on and have some new topics and new conversations. We'll whiz through a few of the comments. The links at the top of the chat, guys. If anybody wants to, feel free to come on and join us. We've got Bubble and Fins that says, good evening, everyone. Hope you've all had a good week so far. Let's get ready for another Thursday Night Live with the guys. Thank you very much, Vicky. Appreciate it.
You got any balls up in that bottle tent yet, girl?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm hoping that I haven't just said something I shouldn't have said there. Shit. Sorry. She were editing a video earlier today. I've just dropped a spoiler. I don't know. She might have. Skeggy's put, is it 7:30 or 8:30? Always going to be 7:30 UK time. Never going to be anything different. Give or take a little bit. And this evening's reason is why we had a little bit of a later is Mr. Tropical Koi. 40 would send me a picture and a video call. And I'm having a natter with his wife, Sammy, and my wife in the background. And we're just having a little quick conversation. So I had to have a quick chat. So that's why we were a little later. Kick me out. Ricky Brown says, evening fishy friends, who apart from Dad, which must be Daz, has a family-sized trifle tonight. I didn't know you. Is that your son, Ricky Brown?
I haven't got a bloody no.
No family-sized trifle, unfortunately. Edward Guppy says, good evening, everyone. Enjoy your evening. Thank you very much.
How are we doing, Ed?
When you catch back up, mate, and watch. And we've got, I can't have this, Jazz. Sorry, mate. I know I'm going to have to put it up on screen. There's only one man gets it, that one, which is Skegster. Normally comes in with it, but I can read out your good evening, people. You forgot the explosion. Oh.
Man-size egg custard instead of trifle tonight.
Oh, so you are going to be semi-disappointed when you...
Yeah.
Paul Mack says, good evening. Hope everyone is well. Thank you very much for joining us again, Paul.
How are you doing, Paul?
Evening, Paul.
DT, good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is having a good week. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Paul does.
Ricky Brown, again. Oh, hang on. Oh, I thought my screen had rolled back then. Sorry. Yeah, but we read that one out. Will's Coy says, yes, people. How are we all? Very well, mate. Looking forward to seeing you on Sunday, bud.
Yes, definitely. Mr. Lawson. Is Mr. Lawson going Sunday?
I don't think he is going, mate, no. It's a lot of walking and he's still not too cracky with his back pain that he's still been getting. And the long drive down is a bit of a killer for him. So it's at the moment till he gets himself a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more sorted. I'm assuming, Mick, that's the reason, but I don't know.
Evening, Mick.
Mr. Tropical Koi, the guy who made us late, it says, evening, everyone.
Evening, Mike.
Keith Smith says, good evening, all, with a thumbs up. Thanks for joining us, Keith.
Hey.
Let's see where we can find the next one. A couple of Saskia says, hi, everyone, with a waving hand. That pond looks absolutely brilliant. You've done a fantastic. Can't believe
the fiberglass.
Everything. The whole light well built.
Yeah.
Running.
You do that as a profession now.
That's something to be proud of. To go out there, build that, knock that all up, and get it all done and doing it all yourself.
Question for you, Setska. What's worse, doing the flow coat or having a beast session at the gym?
I would have said the floor coat purely because the gym doesn't smell that bad. It does stink.
It does stink.
John Cope says, evening, everyone. There we go. Skeggy with his boom.
In with a boom.
Now, I did pronounce this last week, and I apologise, Mr. Shears. I did say Simon S. instead of Simon. Simon Shears instead of Simon S. My screen says live in 57 minutes, but you're here. Fancy that. It's the UK USA data. No, day save, nighttime day. What is it? Day saving rollback. Jump forward hours. They don't do it, we do. So our clock system says a different time to theirs. So it's nothing I can alter. Well, it is, but I don't really need to. We've touched on this one. I think everybody, there's 85 people here. I think the vast majority of people have sussed it. That is 7:30 as usual UK time. But yeah, you're right, mate. The best bit is, though, it does say I've already been live for 1 hour, 24 minutes. Think of that one.
My screen, it says 31:42.
Well, I can, yeah.
Was that
It's weird.
for
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Look, I'll show you. Oh, so everybody don't think I'm cracking. Oh my God, hang about. This might turn off. Oh,
Infinity.
1 hour, 25 minutes and 20 seconds. Woo, that messes with your eyeballs a bit, doesn't it?
Fucking hell, boy. Takes me back 10 years, that is. Oh.
That would have been trippy. That's how Seskia was seeing that inside of her koi pond this afternoon when she were putting that floco on.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Tropical Koi says, Pinko. How you doing, Pinko?
Go!
My camera just froze then. YouTube messing with the times again. It certainly is. MJ Koi says, good evening, all.
Evening.
Brad Mack says, evening, everyone. There's a new name. Thanks for joining us, mate.
You're right, bro.
And our side, evening, with a wave.
Hey.
Andy Smith, good evening.
The rat's being a retard again.
The rat is.
It's
Appreciate
me,
it.
you stupid cow. Get here.
Yeah, let's see. I don't know. I think we had 79 thumbs up last week. Let's see if we can smash that one and add ourselves another one. There we go, Ed. How you doing, bud? You right?
Yeah, not too bad. I hope my internet's playing better this week.
Sweet, you've got some internet reaction.
I'll tell you what, we have got to get him a black Heisenberg hat, haven't we?
Yeah.
Why?
Have you not seen Breaking Bad?
No, I don't watch television. I'm too busy to watch telly, me.
Well, if you watch Breaking Bad or Google Breaking Bad, you'll see why.
Well, wish I had his money then.
Yeah. You're not the only one there.
He made it in that program. You definitely wish he had his money because he ended up with a lot of cash by the end of it. I won't say how we got
No,
that because
I've never watched it.
Never watched it.
I've never watched it either, Age, so you're not on your own.
Have you not seen
I
it?
don't watch that much television.
I've never been bothered about it.
Series. Have you watched the Better Call Saul series as well?
No, I never liked him. I couldn't get along with that character. I just thought he came across as a bit of a knob in programming. He seemed like a bit of a shit actor. Whereas
He was good in that film, Gazzo.
he was good in that one. Yeah, he were in
The Nobody. That's a bloody good film.
That
That.
was brilliant. That bus scene were absolutely ace when he smashed the hell out of them all.
Yeah, isn't it?
Right up his feet, that. Great.
But it's not the sort of thing you expect from that actor. Can you see what I mean?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
No, not because all his other roles is nothing like that, is it?
Nothing like that, which I thought was brilliant. Just
Yeah.
made it a better film.
Wasn't he an undercover kind of spy type thing in that thing? He was, wasn't it? Like a secret agent kind of thing. None of his family knew about it, and then he smashed their house to pieces and gunshots everywhere, shooting through walls and all sorts. Yeah. Good film. That's a good film if nobody's watched it. Nobody. Well, good. And another really good film. It's called Nope. N-O-P-E. Watch that one. It's brilliant. Fantastic. Best film us lot I've ever watched collectively as a group.
I've seen that.
What did you think?
I fell asleep.
Yeah. Trust me, guys.
That says it all for me, then.
That's 2.5 hours of your life you ain't never getting back. That's one well weird.
To be fair though, I fall asleep to most things. So
yeah. Especially shit films because that one's crap.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's really bad. Charlie Mifty Brown says, "Evening, the GKP and guests and all viewing. How you doing, Cole? I'll be good, mate. Cole. We've got MTK with away from Skeg. Mr. Tropical Koi says, "Evening, Colin." Jigs' Mountain View Koi Pond says, "Evening, one and all," with a wink and a thumbs up. How you doing, bud?
He picked up a couple of nice fish the other day. Did you see the lemon harawaki he picked up?
You got a nice lemon harawaki.
Joe, what's it down?
Very nice lemon harawaki.
I will have a look though. Now we said that. I'll have a look at that. for sure.
I think it's bubbling too much.
It's bubbling.
It's bubbling me dinners. Yeah, me tea's.
Dinner's
I've only
bubbling.
just coming from
You're
work.
multitasking badly. Bubble and Finn says, to help the guys see your questions, please put them in caps. It stands out. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Chris Henton, evening all, with a double thumbs up.
Evening. You changed the layout, Gaz, with all the comments.
What do you think? Do you think it looks better, worse, better?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look better, actually.
The actual subscriber or whoever's watching. If it's anybody else's channel, you get to see the logo a little bit better. So I think it looks a little bit.
For the elderly and prepared like me, it's a lot better.
Exactly, that's the reason why I did it. Simon S says, the mother of all intros. Do you like it? Good, bad? For my,
You didn't use the new one, Gaz.
no, that's for all my new videos, man.
Ah, cool.
That's for the videos. The one that I posted the other day. Yeah,
Cool.
Tips I'm doing, but all my own doing.
All worth it in the long run, isn't it?
Just I wanted to get rid of that old music, and obviously there's been some changes that need to be done. But I'm not so bothered about the ponds from that angle is never going to look much different, just longer. So it shouldn't really need to be. And half the fish that are in that old one are a lot bigger, and some of them are in my dad's pond. So there were a few bits I needed to change out. We've got Humbercoy says, hi guys, sorry I'm late. There is no clocking in here, mate. You're never late. It's come and go. You please or feel.
Evening, Aaron.
Johnny said, there's what?
I was asking Vince, how's the Tancho?
Tancho is looking better. I gave it its first treatment yesterday, and it's doing rather well. It's now got the Shiro in there with it as well, because I had that out today and done a treatment on the tail from when it did its free willy.
This is swelling on.
Oh God, yeah. It's back to koi shape, but she's got a little hole.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't look raw, bad though,
no,
does it, Vince?
No.
It's not. No. It looks. It's a small hole, but it's not massive, is it? It's not huge.
No. I mean,
it's amazing.
The transformation from when it first went in to where it is now, and I did one treatment yesterday, and just to think that was just salt.
Yeah.
Nothing else but just salt to a 0.6.
You got it right this time.
But you could have gone higher.
Yeah, I know I could have gone higher, but it gives me a little bit of scope then to when I do a filter clean, I can just bang a couple of cups of salt back in just to top it back up again. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but all I've got in there at the moment is literally the Tancho and the Shiro. Nothing in the growing on tank at the moment. They're all in the main pond.
If you don't mind me asking, and if it does, if it's going to bother any videos that you've got up and coming, just say, what's going on with the loss of 2 inch in the other one? Have you found a source yet?
No. Now, last thing I did last night after walking the dog, I topped it back up, and I went in there this morning, and it was about an inch drop. So I'm none the wiser at the moment, but Scott from Koiponics, he's 3D printed me a grill to go into the 4-inch bottom drain. So because I'm going to have to take the fish out of there anyway, I'll take the fish out now, and rather than splitting them between the pond and the growing on and the Toso tank, because the Toso tank's got salt in, they all went into the main pond for the moment, because I know everything's tickety-boo in there at the moment. also gives me a chance in a few days to just leave the tank.
Evening, Rick.
Evening all.
Imre,
Ah,
How you doing?
sorry,
gives me a
Vince.
few days then to see if it drops any more, and if it does, where it drops to, so then I can iron out where it's dropping from. Can you see what I mean? So then I can deal with that, and then once I've got the grill in, I can then start transferring water from the IBC tank over, and then start thinning out the IBC tank, because I've got a couple in there that are a good couple of inches long now. So yeah, they need to be moved around. So yeah, that's what's going on with the growing on tank at the moment. I haven't got a fucking clue, Stickle.
Well, hopefully, fingers crossed, mate, you can find it at some point. Oh, that was Dino that just joined in there, mate. We can only have six on at once. So unless somebody else drops off, I can't let anybody else back in. But if you want to come and join us in the back room and we can switch some people in and out, not a problem.
I couldn't drop off for a minute because I'm my food's just arrived.
No worries.
Good
Do
stuff.
you want to drop out then and give us a thumbs up when you're ready?
All right, mate.
Put yourself back down in
Full
bottom.
sweet.
There we go. You all right, Dino?
Full house.
Hello. You all right?
I'm good. You?
Got a white flag here.
White
You got a white flag? Go on.
Yeah.
What's the
What's
white
that,
flag for?
surrendering.
Been banned for weeks.
Yeah, but never by me, mate.
No,
Never
I know.
by me.
Well, all right. Let's just leave it there, eh?
Well, let's just say that you had a disagreement with somebody, and that somebody's not here anymore, mate. So we'll leave it there and
Okay.
move on.
Yeah.
How's
Daz,
the fish?
boss koi farm, yours, lad.
Cheers,
Boss.
Bob.
I wish I'd pulled them little videos off, Daz, today that you'd done. That little one. He sent us a little video in. And if I had used my brains, I could have pulled it off and put it into a little video and show you. You know the fry that we graded 2 weeks ago that were like this? I can't believe how big they are. They're
Crazy, aren't they?
They've grown like stink. They really have.
Yeah.
Anybody else growing fry?
Ricky?
Oh, yeah, obviously, Ricky's going to be growing some fry.
Yeah.
Have you
You're
got
right.
any on here?
You're
or-
on today, Ricky, thanks. Everything's
Oh, you
perfect.
gone?
Not a single
Good
loss.
stuff.
Not even in the tiny ones, not a single loss. Perfect.
Yeah, look. About 1,500 fish you got there, I reckon.
Yeah. Yeah, brilliant.
Wow.
Yeah, settled in nice. I did an unboxing video. I just got to download it or upload it or whatever you do with it.
Just
Good
to bear
stuff.
with 1 second, I'm just going to put because Dino's showing us pond there. We might as well appreciate it and make him full screen.
Make him big.
Now then, how do we make it solo layout? There we go.
That's better, yeah.
Sweet, look at that. Oh, nice lemon arawaki there.
Yeah, it's a nice arawaki, yeah. Nice big shag as well, I think.
Yeah, that just come up from the bottom then. I thought for a second, is that a minicarp?
It's like red and brown.
Shag.
That's massive.
That's some good sized fish, mate.
Yeah.
Not bad, not bad. Come here.
Good.
What's this?
Me, dickhead.
What brings that?
And only messing Pomeranian.
A Pomeranian.
That's
Yeah.
one big Pomeranian.
Oh crap! Wrong one.
Oh, you're massive, Gaz.
There we go. That's better. Pomeranian. My mate used to have a Pomeranian. The damn thing were evil. He used to, back then when we were younger, like we always used to get 20 packet of fags, go down, and we'd have a Friday night at any one of his mates' house when we were all like teenage lads. And we used to, every time you go down there, if you left your packet of fags, his dog used to rip the fucks to pieces. You come back to try and find your packet of cigs, and they'd be all in bits on floor, chewed to bits. But if you went to get that packet or pick it up to see if you got any left, it'd go for you, man. It were evil. It was a proper nasty little bugger. But with his mum, never, you know, we're all about her. Proper little nasty shit with everybody else. Was you want a chihuahua? Is it? That little chihuahua, that one?
Got old Ranger dogs there.
Yeah.
Fucker.
How long you had Pond then, Dino?
About 12 years.
Have you really?
Yeah, it's an old bastard. It's like Vince.
Indestructible.
Well, listen,
Bastard.
I only come on to say nice one and white flag. So, gonna go into the baby's bottles.
Nice one, mate. Thanks for joining us, bud. Appreciate it, and you're welcome anytime.
See you later, Dino.
Thanks for joining
Take
the
care,
Pond as
mate.
well. 12 years. That's good going.
Yeah.
Well, what have I missed then?
Up to press, just one question that we had, which was, we'll get your opinion on it as well, mate. Slow pond turnover, or turn the pond over as often as possible.
It's all to do with the filtration, isn't it?
That's what everybody else said. All to do with the filtration, depending on what you're running.
Yeah.
But minimum requirement, once every 2 hours.
If you want to keep it clear from algae, yeah. So you can put it through the UV every few hours, but it's contact time in the filter. So how big a filter you got, whether you want clarity or whatever. But yeah.
Oh, crap, wrong one. There we go. Switch that. So yeah, same answer as what everybody else had. And the other one, Rick, was the first question of the evening was, what time's everybody getting to the show on Sunday? We've said, Vince said 10 o'clock, but it starts at 9 while 5. So we were thinking, if you want to grab a bargain, Rick, we need to get there at 9 o'clock.
I thought it was 10 o'clock the
Bring
show.
around all ponds, right fast, seeing what's available and getting dibs on them all first. What do you reckon?
Could be. I'm carless at the minute, so hopefully that'll be sorted tomorrow.
Oh, crap.
I might be walking.
We're doing a detour.
Yeah.
Vince, you and Rocket Boy might have to go and abduct Rick and throw him back at van, wrap him up in a carpet.
What's that?
Drive him up there.
That would be good. We'll sort some sort of vehicle out.
Yeah.
You're right.
Catch up a little bit just in case I missed anyway. Oh, hang about. I've lost my position. Anybody know what the last comment was that I read out? There we go.
Obviously, none of us were paying attention.
I'm scrolling down the road, but look at me. I've jumped ahead of shitloads. There, Skeggy's got that one. I think it must be somewhere close to that. No, it's way before that. But he agrees once every 2 hours minimum, I would say.
Yeah.
What have we got? We have got something in here.
How's the community choice looking, Ricky?
The community choice. That sounds. What's that?
This is pride at the community choice.
Yeah,
community challenge.
They got to be 7 centimetre, the biggest ones.
Right.
So they're absolutely flying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very promising. But promising doesn't mean great deal sometimes. Yeah.
Have more confidence in yourself, boy.
Yeah. Think positive.
Oh, they'll be all right. There'll be some good ones. Just how good. We'll see.
Seska says she's staying the weekend.
Wow.
Enjoy. Double visit then.
Full on for it.
Mr. Webb says we're not doing koi shows this year. It's the same thing every. Come on, Gaz. It's not the same thing. It's what you make of it.
Yeah.
Plus the class with a few of the RC flying events we have booked at. Oh, well, at least you're still going to be doing some of it. So there's a
big part of it. The socialising for me. Meeting all the YouTubers.
I mean, if you're gonna say that, you'd never put any more new koi in your ponds. You'd never do anything or change anything. Never make any alterations. I mean, your pond's the same every day, but you still get enjoyment from it. I suppose like Dad says, it's all part of who you go see, what you go and do, who you go and visit, meet friends, have a laugh, have a natter between yourselves about which you think. I mean, all right, yeah, there'll be the judge's opinion on the show and on the fish, but there's bound to be something that you all personally think is nicer or different, or something that you think is an absolutely stunning fish, or something you might think, I'm not so keen on that.
That's a bit of tissue. I miss me,
Make
mate.
it out you what you want. It's like an episode of Who's Eating What this evening. Let's go. Get the cycle going. Cycle, grab something quick. Rick, get some. I'll grab some. I'll grab some Haribos. We can all have a bit of something.
I've got a bowl of soup with some bread and butter.
There you go.
Well, Susie tried something new, and that was banging.
What did you have?
That come down, didn't it?
Come down with me.
It's like pork steak skewered with onion, potato, and
She spoils you, Vince.
Yeah, very much so. But look at this, though, guys. Look at the new young Rick. What about that? After he'd done his gig, at Glastonbury, he had a haircut.
I had to get it chopped.
You're wondering exactly what that's about. I shall show you. You can see them. We have one famous koi farm keeper, and we also have
Frozen.
we also have a live performer.
Yeah.
And he is. Just as he got his fresh haircut, they rush down to Glastonbury and do a little bit of a gig. And then we're back on it.
That's multitasking for you.
That is multitasking. Sunday, it was Tony Barker sent that one through. That probably made me laugh. I actually shared it to Rick as well.
yeah, so did I.
Didn't make me.
Me, you never know.
I sent it to him with, "Hey, you're a fucking dark horse."
Yeah, he actually sent one to me saying, "I just put as soon as I got my haircut, I just put whipped in there and got a quick gig done." Shrewsbury Kai says, "All right, Kai Nuts, as we've away. Thanks for joining us, mate."
Oh yes.
Mr. Butler, hi all. Hope all's well. You too, mate. 100% fresh, apparently. Jeff Harfield says, "Evening, folks," with a thumbs up.
Evening, Jeff.
Fenland, evening all. Hope everybody is well. What time are you aiming to be there, Fenland, on Sunday? And how many where are we all meeting? Meet you a rendezvous point for everybody so we can all catch up and have a natter before we all blast around it.
Fenland last turned up, give me a shot yesterday. Just turned up in the shop. It's like, oh, thought you live up north.
She's down there, isn't she? She's down there. She was.
Back up again.
Linda, out Fenland Lash.
Deliver me a nice cup.
Good. Bless her.
Nice.
There you go. You got your first koi mug done, yeah?
Could be, yeah.
First one. Yeah.
I'm not a collector, so.
Well, you are now. Everybody's going to be taking your cups. You're going to get in extra. Well, see if you can beat Vince. How many on now, Vince?
He's got about
51.
90,000, do you?
51. I've been washing
I'm on 51, and no doubt I'll go get a couple while I'm at the show on Sunday as well.
I've got
Just
one
wait
for you,
for
Vince.
all 51 of you that you've given him a cup. Just forward him your email address for him to return his cups to you. My boy Kai says, "Good evening, all. Thanks very much for joining us, bud. Hope you're good."
Good evening, Danny.
Carol says, "Good evening to you all. Thank you very much for joining us."
Carol.
There you go. The show is 50% bigger this year.
Oh, cool.
So that's how many vats have they got then this year? How many vats they got going?
I'll find my show and have a look. Honestly, it looks fucking huge.
We'll see Sunday, won't we?
Yeah, we will.
100%.
Be good. Are you coming, Si?
Yeah, I'm going on Sunday.
There we go.
I think they've got a new award for this year as well, haven't they?
A new award.
What's that for?
I can't remember now off the top of my head. I'm sure I've seen something about there's a new award as well, though.
Be all right. Dealer competition would be good, wouldn't it?
The best biff then.
You're going to enter it next year?
Who knows? Doubt it, but you never know.
What's that for the dealer one? For the dealer, oh, I wonder if it's that because there's the dealers can show their fish this year, can't they? So I wonder if it's the dealer award then. Wait, it's going to be good.
Interesting how it works, isn't it?
Evening show, evening. The show is roughly 50% bigger this year. More public VATs, dealer competition, and they have rejigged the centering. Sweet. Nice one.
Good stuff.
That's what I want to. Well, like you said,
We did it in what way?
An injection.
Don't worry, Vince. We'll see you Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm so impatient.
Don't spoil the surprise.
Yeah, you were those kind of kids, Vince, that used to go feeling and perhaps maybe tear a Christmas present over on, a couple of days before you actually got there. Whenever it goes back.
I never told them, but I would always
rattle them.
Steamy cards.
You're disappointed though when it's not wrapped up and it's not a bike. There we go. A couple of people coming in there. Skeggy says once every 2 hours, I would say. Slower turnover is better for the average garden pond. Multi-base prefer a slower flow rate, if I remember rightly. No faster than once every an hour. There you go. I think you need to find the sweet spot for turnover and leave it at that.
That's the one.
Exactly.
DT says I turn mine over 1.5 times an hour. I know mine gets turned over way more than that.
Yours is about 6 times an hour.
I think mine's turned over like 3 times an hour, which is perhaps a bit too much.
And I ain't got a clue what mine's turning over.
Well, I've got one 4,500 litre pump running and another 10,000 litre an hour pump running, and I've only got a 4,000 litre pond.
Yeah,
but I run one at like 6,000 litres and the other one's running at 4,500. So yeah, it's definitely getting turned over probably way too much. But he's still doing his job, so I suppose at the end of the day,
as long as your filters are working all right, it don't matter, does it?
Exactly. No. Sharpie's choice. Congratulations on the 1,000 subs, mate.
Yes, mate.
Yeah,
big congrats.
Hopefully, are you going down to the show? I'm going to keep asking everybody. Once an hour is what I'm aiming for. There you go. Mine's definitely more than that. But perhaps maybe I should tweak it down a bit and see what difference it makes.
If your water's good, mate. Your filter's almost as big as your pond, though.
Coffee's filters are much bigger than his pond.
All of that. My filter's bigger than my pond, probably is.
Yeah.
Barrels, isn't it? I hope you don't find your leak. Mike Bass says, oh, hang about, sorry, missed that one. Both my ponds run at once every hour and a half. My pond is easy pod, 3,800 litres per hour. Small pond is on a filter at 125 litres per hour. Mr. Bass says, my drum is turning over every half hour and constantly trickles in with 80 micron screen. So the drum does run faster then. They do run faster, don't they? Mm. Yeah, so running faster on the cleaning cycle for sure.
It's all relative again, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Size of the pond, amount of fish, everything else.
Yeah. Well, that was just 100 views. Thank you very much, guys. Do us a huge favour. Let's see if we can get 100 thumbs up, because that'd be wicked. I want to see if I can beat. I think we've had 79 as the maximum that I've had so far. I'd like to see if we can smash that. If you're enjoying this kind of content, guys, give it a go.
We're gonna have to get Ricky a T-shirt made where it literally just says it's all relative.
It's all relative.
His favourite little slogan, isn't it? It's all relative, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Nothing's ever the same, is it?
I've run one in the past, the worst to get set, but when you get it running good, it runs a dream. Oh, that's got to be
A drum, I should think.
the
Drum. Or seat
what is it?
to
The sieve, the seat to sieve.
That was it.
Seat to sieve. I'm guessing, Jack. My boss says my seat to sieve is good as a secondary system from skimmer, then feeds the easy pod and the bog filter. There you go. You can always have a chat with Mike Bass or Jack and see what how they've had theirs running.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just taking out big stuff from the skimmer then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you've got one then, Vince, have you?
No, but I'm looking at one. Maybe taking the multi-bay off the IBC tank.
I've
And
got a
grab
sieve
the
if you want.
Right?
I've got a sieve, I think, at work. Put it on, took it off on one of the ponds. Yeah.
Why is that then? It's
just too much. Yeah, they're just the amount of debris we put through some of our ponds are just no good. Yeah, it takes it out, blocks up, overflows, crud everywhere. So, yeah, they'd be all right from a skimmer or taking a smaller amount of debris out.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But for something on your sort of size scale and what have you, with the natural ponds, too much.
No, yeah, not one on a natural pond. Jeez.
It'd be no good for Vince with the amount of mealworms he feeds.
Yeah, I mean, Vince would. He got in trouble for that other week, feeding too many. He's not allowed to do it anymore.
Well, I tell you what. This is, I think, it's a 5 kilo tub. Since I've been soaking my pellets in the Munger mix, I've doubled the amount of food that they're eating, and I've seen less waste on the floor. So, personally, what that says to me is, if there's less waste on the floor, then they're actually using and eating more of what's actually in the pellet.
Digest it a lot easier, mate.
But I'm going through one of these sort of like every 3 days.
Yeah.
Be nice, wouldn't
There's food for thought.
it? It literally doubles what they'll take in a 5-minute sitting. So
Yeah.
if you want to feed them more to grow them, then you just take the food that much easier, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Got limits. You can't be putting in a feeder, or you'll have a mess.
Mealworms. When you feed your fish a lot of mealworms, they make a lot of shit from that.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot more indigestible fibre and stuff amongst that. So
Yeah.
more like that.
Yeah, they have to
I
case
like
it.
them, but they don't have to produce some crap from it, don't it, Vince?
Yeah, definitely.
Jack says it was. That's what I was talking about. Was the sieve. We've got an evening there from Andy's Koi Puddle. That's evening, everyone. And then Mr. Webb said, apologies, didn't know there was exclusive rights to chat entries. That's because of the boom. I was just messing with it. Simon Shears says, hi all. Evening, Simon. Thanks for joining us. And I've got another question now. A first question from Carol. I've done a second treatment of fluke salt. Will be a week tomorrow since it went in. Now I know I have to scrape again tomorrow. Fingers crossed, all good. Then can I do normal water change? If you scrape it clean, if you scrape it, but you don't want to be water changing your treatment out, do you, before your treatment cycle's finished? But if you're scraping clean, I wouldn't see a reason as to why. I mean, ideally, you really want to be doing a water change to get that treatment out of your water, don't you?
Yeah.
As long as you're clear, just doesn't matter, is it? You're done.
Yeah. Treatment's done. Fish are clean. Jobs are good. And give them a water change.
Fingers crossed.
It's all relative.
Ricky Brown, I did mean Daz, not Dad. Not Dad. But Daz has got a secret son or daughter that he didn't know about. On the web. Let's see if we've got any other questions. There we go. Chris Figure says, "Evening all. Good to hear so many northern accents." Hey, that's
Tongue in cheek, isn't he?
There we go. Can anyone tell me what has happened to Andy at Koi Diaries? Oh, shit.
Not close.
I don't know why. What has happened?
No one knows. That's the point.
Is it, well, I mean, if it's not putting any content out, if you remember last year, it did drop off for a while and did put no content out for quite a few months, didn't it? So maybe he's just having a break. Who knows? I guess go to his about, drop an email, ask him, see what's going on. I mean, everybody at some point, at some time, needs a little bit of time away from it all when you've been doing it as long as what he has. So
Might be just enjoying his fish.
yeah,
Hope
chilling
so.
out and relaxing.
Yeah.
Hope it's nothing, anything else.
Yeah.
But I don't know personally myself. Have we got any other questions coming up? Let's have a quick look. Has anyone had a sunburnt koi? No, personally.
Yeah.
Not myself.
Yeah, quite a lot. Yeah, they tend to do it in the mud ponds quite a lot.
Yeah.
They sit up on top of the sort of weed, any bit of blanket weed or weed in the pond, and they'll sit right up on the surface and cook themselves. Quite literally.
They're not the
In Wales.
greatest of fish ever, really.
Some of them they'll put their backs out of the water, and
Yeah.
the section of the dorsal will actually not just burn; it will dry. And
Yeah.
it'll sit there and dry out a section of skin and burn it and dry it, and then you get issues with that area, and you go around throwing stones at them all day, or whatever, and try and
And they spook them under.
they're-
A bit like
But
dogs.
Can't like to bask in sun like that, do they? But
They
I've
do,
never
yeah.
ever seen a burnt carp for doing it.
No,
yeah, you often see normal carp do it, but they'll get like
Like
a
you
white where it burns. Normally on koi, you'll see like a pinkish burn area. But on normal carp, you see like a white area where the skin and mucus obviously covers over, and you get you see them cruising around with a section of white on their back, and that's where they burn themselves. And then the mucus has obviously got to try and protect it and recover.
And how do they heal, Rick, from that? Is it
Fine, yeah, they heal up fine. I mean, a high class, you don't want it to happen to your top end fish because any damage to especially the benny is a problem.
Yeah.
But you can't really go around telling them all, you don't do that. Put your sunscreen on.
Yeah, put some suntan lotion on.
Fortunately, I've never had it. But I only get sort of like three quarters a day on my pond. So, whatever's in there, I guess, mine have just got the sense to get out and go underneath them if it gets too warm or too hot or too bright. But
Yeah, I've got lots of lilies in my ponds, so that's probably helps.
Yeah, and sometimes they seem to seek shade, but a lot of the time they want to find the hottest part of the pond.
Yeah,
And just-
especially in the morning. When
yeah. And any albino or red eye type or yellow skinned, so like your red eye crashigoi and such like, they're super sensitive. Their skin's got less protection.
Now, come on, let's get this right, Ricardo.
Akame.
It's an akame karashigoi.
Well, it's got red eyes to me. It's an albino.
Akame.
Akame, yeah.
Or Akame.
Yeah, Akame.
Yeah, akame.
Yeah,
Akame.
Right then.
There you go.
Actually, lifetime should be in the top right corner.
Lifetime.
No, it's in the top left on mine. But I suppose it depends on your display, guys. Right then. See if there's any more. We've got any more questions? If not, we shall move on to one of the other ones. Right then, here you are. A question from Bubble and Fins. If you had to change one thing about your koi keeping hobby, what would it be? And what is the favourite thing about your koi keeping hobby? So 2 questions in one. If you had to change one thing, what would it be? And what is your favourite thing in the koi keeping hobby? And
Who
I'm
you
going to
asking?
start up North Coy first. We'll have as a first answer. Go on, Si. Go for it.
What would I change about it?
What's your favourite thing about the koi keeping hobby? And what would be the one thing you would change about the koi keeping hobby?
Well, I mean, the favourite thing for me about it is just being able to spend time out in garden and just watch them. I just think it's just relaxing. It just helps to take your mind off everyday stressful things, doesn't it? So that's what I like about it. And what would I change about it?
I think we know us.
Where do you want to start?
Well,
Yeah. Apart from the obvious.
I'd probably get rid of bacteria, to be honest with you.
There you
Filter ain't
go.
going to work, mate.
Fair comment. Get rid of bacteria. Go on then, Ed. What would you do? And what is and what would you do?
It's just I'm a soy really. Like coming home of a night time, chilling out, watching the fish, having a couple of beers, just chilling out and watching them grow, basically. And if I could change something about the pond, virtually the same. Bacteria issues. I wish there was a magic
Same,
killer.
It
For the
seemed to be fair.
bacteria
That's
issues,
two people I
happy
didn't really
days.
think of. Yeah.
You picked those two well, didn't you, Gaz?
I really did. Sorry. It wasn't meant in that sense, but obviously for you two, it would be the 100% obvious thing, wouldn't it? About yourself, then, Daz.
My favourite thing is harvesting the fish, seeing how they've developed. Especially if I've had them out of the water for a while. I mean, all that, like the growing tosi that are bred or whatever. That's what I really get a buzz out of. And the thing I would change, I would make it sunny all year round, no winter, bad winter.
Bad winter.
Just think how big the fish we could grow then. They'd be massive.
You're reading my mind.
Oh, now you're going to find something else now. Go on then, Rick. What would you, the koi keeping?
For me, it's the breeding, isn't it? For my picking new parents, choosing the parents, seeing the outcome. For me, that's what I do every day. But that's why I do it.
Yeah.
It's proper buzz, isn't it?
Yeah.
When it works. When it goes.
It's like a roller coaster, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if you could change one thing, what would it be?
Me personally, the cost of running a pond like you want to. So, I could sit there and design a pond to grow fish and be absolutely spot on. You just couldn't afford to do it. So you have to. Yeah, it's the running cost of that pucker pond. Don't mind the setting up cost because that's a one-off, but to run a pond properly at the moment is a real to be able to run it at 25 degrees for 10 months of the year as you want it. It's not.
You're constantly compromising, having to cut corners, aren't you, to try just to save as much as you can and make it work.
Yeah.
Well, not cut corners, but you've just got to try and make it work an alternative way.
Yeah, simple things like you use a polytunnel to gain your temperature, but then when we have a hot spell like we just had, I'm having to shave it and open doors and it's too hot. It's like,
I was filming today, my bloody phone kept cutting out halfway through a video because you get overheating. It was that hot in the tunnel.
Go on then, Vince. Your favourite thing about the hobby and one thing you would change?
Well, up until last year, my favourite thing about the hobby was actually raising 2 to 3 week old fry to fish that were enjoyed by other people. And that's what really gave me a buzz. But after actually spawning last year and growing them, like Ricky says, there's just something about that.
Well, you're creating new life, aren't you? And you're creating new colours and new fish, really. And it's the not knowing. It's the excitement.
What does that mean for you? No.
Yeah. It's you see the characteristics of the parents that you were hoping to see.
Yeah.
But like most of the time, you see the bits you're perhaps not hoping to see from each parent.
Yeah, I had that today with the Ginner and Achiever. I mean, that took me over 30-40 minutes just to try and catch the little bastard because he was so dark, and it's just like, I'm buggered now because it's in the main pond until it gets to a good size that I can see the fucking thing again.
So one thing you'd change then, what would that be?
I think I've got to go with what Ricky said, the running costs to be able to, and I mean I've noticed it this year because usually my growing on tank usually sits between 24 and 26 degrees. I just can't afford to take it up that extra 4 degrees at the moment because of the running costs. So 22 is my number at the moment, but my preferred number is between 24 and 26. And yeah, if anything, it would be the running costs.
Yeah. It'd be great if we could all get cheap solar or something.
Well, that's don't go on that one because that's a topic that we have already got a question.
Yeah, that's a different kettle of fish. I mean, the government and all these green eco warriors keep going on about we need to stop this and we need to stop that. Well, if every new house that was built was installed with fucking solar panels, there wouldn't be as much drain on the system.
Yeah, and all factories and places like Asda and Tesco, all that roof space. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that little bit where I said, let's not discuss that right now because we've got a question about it later.
My bad.
You're going to open a can of worms with that lot.
We actually had regarding it, and
You know what I mean? We all be banned.
it's well worth a chat. I think for me, the best thing about koi keeping, I'd say the friends and the community that I've got involved with since doing it for me.
Yeah.
And the getting together on the weekend, group calls and chat calls, we're all doing that same kind of thing, cleaning his filters, having a natter, having a laugh, having a joke, saying what's your, going through your tests and doing it with your friends and having that side of it. To me, that's probably one of the best things.
Yeah.
And
I don't know
the
about
changing
you now,
side of things.
Sorry, go on.
No,
I never expected to have good friends at my age. I mean, we have such a good laugh when we're out. It's like being a teenager again, isn't it?
It is. That's the bit. It's brilliant, Daz. And that's the bit that, from keeping koi and meeting new friends and having a laugh and a joke with it, is probably one of the best bits and the most enjoyment I get out of it. As well as getting around everybody else's ponds, going away, doing things, doing all that stuff together. That's probably the best bit about it for me, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I love my fishing pond, don't get me wrong, but when we're all having a natter on a Saturday morning or a Sunday when we're doing his filter cleans and what have you, hours and hours just fly by like that, and you think, God damn, that's Saturday or Sunday gone.
Yeah.
And if we get together doing something down yours, it's hours and hours have just flown by in what feels like seconds. There's enough time in there to get done. But that's for me, that's the best bit. And I would say, honestly, for me, one thing I would change, I mean, I agree with you, the prices of everything is more expensive, but I aren't really running that big of a system anyway. But I'd like to change all the animosity that's in there within the koi community. That's what I'd like to change. I'd like to see it all put to bed, all go away, and it all everybody just come together with what's supposed to be a fantastic hobby where everybody should all appreciate and enjoy what is koi keeping.
That's just a perfect world, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is, mate.
I know what you're saying, though. It's it's having that adultness about you to say, right, well, okay, you've got an opinion. It may not it may not agree with my opinion, but you've got an opinion, and you leave it there, move on to the next subject. But it's like Gaz says about the friendship and the community thing. I mean, I've lost count the amount of times my phone's been going off and my daughter's gone, I can't believe my dad's got a better social life than I have. You know, and when you look at it, I mean, guys, you've seen my phone. 75% of it is all YouTubers and subscribers. It's crazy, but it is, like you say, a good thing about the hobby that it brings such a diverse demographic.
Yeah.
Together.
By what I'm saying about, you know, the animosity, I'm not meaning YouTube. I'm meaning, you know,
As a general whole.
As a general, yeah.
I think it's a lot better than it used to be.
Yeah.
If it could improve and get even better, that's got to be a bonus. I mean, it's got to be something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's got a real noisy dish.
Yeah.
Whereas my little boy's having his second dinner.
If you think about it, with things like that, though, when you talk about animosity in communities, at one point it all used to be on forums and things like that, didn't it? But now it's all moved to social media.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And if you go back into some of those old chats, god damn, some people are harsh.
It's faceless, isn't it? That's the thing. A lot of people will say stuff.
I mean, my biggest gripe is when somebody comes in and says they've got a problem or they're doing something that somebody doesn't agree with, is how they go, put that fish back in water. God damn, man, how do you think anglers go fishing? How do you take a fish off the damn hook without that fish being in water? And they're all going, oh my God, it's going to die. The fish would be so much more healthy if it were in water. Yes, it would. But do you not know that they can survive up to 4 hours out of water? So let's address the guy's problem and the guy's issue beforehand, before shouting your head off at him and
before
dicing
him up into bits.
Yeah, but now he thinks, shit, damn, I'm never asking a question again because I got my head bit off last time, and all I want to do is watch this fish. You know.
Yeah.
Yes, explain the reasons behind it. Give your opinion on it. Tell people the right way of what they should be showing you. But don't just shoot them straight down in flames and go with the straight in of, you're doing this, you're doing that, it should be that. I just don't think, exactly, yeah, straight for getting hung, drawn and quartered, man. Guy took a fish out of water. I mean, some of it's just a bit harsh. But again, just my opinion. It's not the way I would do it.
No.
I think educate before you insult is a better way. But that's just one kind of example. There's loads of it in there. The forums are savage.
They are.
The forums were really bad.
The forums still a thing.
Yeah, there are still forums out there. There are still forums out there. But
I say though, I think a lot of it has migrated to social media, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's better though, isn't it? You can see things, you can explain things, and you can't just hide behind stuff. You're there, aren't you?
Yeah.
So
I've lost count it amount of carp fishing forums there used to be. But now they just go all on social media now. They've all just shut down.
Yeah. But now you can whereas before, when you were on dial-up and it took 14 weeks to that fish to load up so you could actually see it.
Yeah.
You used to watch line after line after line after line after line after line load up on screen.
Yeah.
Now you are showing your age, guys.
I don't make out. Goddamn, screeching down phone line. Let's see if there's anybody else who's got another little question from the audience and anybody else watching. I am going to be flicking past a few of these comments just to see if we've got any more.
Didn't Ricky put one up on the community post?
he's ignoring me.
Say again, sorry?
Didn't Ricky put a question up on the community post?
He did, mate, yeah.
He's just waiting.
I was just having a quick look to see if there were any more, so I don't miss anybody's questions, because a lot of the time we end up talking and I miss the questions in here, and then when I do, I get people sending me messages, which I appreciate. The last week I got a few people trying to tell me there's no link, and I knew there was no link, because I haven't put it there. So I was asked for the links, but when I'm using my phone, because of past events, I put it on Do Not Disturb. So there's absolutely 0 point sending me a message to my phone because I ain't going to get it till the show's finished, and by that time it's too late. I just wanted to see and make sure that if there was any more, then we could
Address them before we went any
address
further.
them on before we went on to the next one. But that one kind of tips into one of the others as well, Rick. New Forest Coy's question, because I can't see one. If anybody does want to ask us any, like I said, stickers one in on the in capital letters. Oxygen and how different filters, time of the day, air pressure and temperature affect the oxygen levels in ponds.
We've had a lot of it lately. A lot of people losing fish.
Yeah.
A lot of, and a lot of people don't understand how the fish use oxygen, how the oxygen gets in the water, how much oxygen's available in the water. There's so many, issues around it, and it's just one of those. It's like a be or end all. You get it wrong. So simple filters, your normal flow through filters. By the time the water's coming out the other end, it is devoid of any oxygen whatsoever. Whereas a proper shower filter, your water's coming back well oxygenated. Even though there's oxygen being used by the filter, it's putting so much more oxygen in. Smashed water, it absorbs so much more oxygen than aeration puts back in, that your return is super oxygen. If it's a proper shower where you've got water and air mixing all the way down through, your water's coming back in, super oxygenated. There's time of day, a lot of people have waterfalls and they turn them off at night without realizing your oxygen levels at night plummet because every green thing in your pond uses oxygen and it's not putting oxygen in like it does during the day. Temperatures, massive. The amount of oxygen you can hold in water is influenced by the temperature of the water. So the hotter it is, the less it will hold. The more the bacteria need, the more the fish need. You're just going up on a graph basically of doom. The hotter it gets and the less oxygen the water can physically hold. Algae plays a massive role, and then air pressure plays a big role. So as soon as we had lovely high pressure for weeks and weeks, the first time we get some thunder rolling in and we get low pressure, your oxygen levels are going to fall through the floor. If you haven't got added aeration and all the rest of it, your oxygen levels are going to plummet again. So there's lots of pitfalls.
Yeah.
On a side note to that, then, Ricky, what are your thoughts on aerated bottom drains? Because I know a lot of people don't like them. Are you an advocate of aerated bottom drains?
Not massively, but they obviously aeration's positive in any way, and it does draw more waste to your bottom drain. So there is positives with them. Having all that disturbance to see your fish is a bit of an issue because you can't really see a lot of ponds. If you've got a big aerated bottom drain going on, you've got so much movement, you can't really view the fish. But from a safety point of view, great. For putting more oxygen in, for the fish, they're a bonus, aren't they?
Yeah.
The main thing I don't like with them is the amount of them that blow off 6 foot down under a lot of pressure. You can't, if you just had a normal air stone, you can change it, you can clean it, you can pull it up and do whatever. An aerated bottom drain, you're stuck, aren't you?
Yeah. You see having to get the scuba gear on and go down and fix the bottom drain.
How about your air curtain?
Scuba gear, fucking hose pipe.
Air curtains, I mean, obviously leaky pipes less likely to block than ceramic stones, but you get the air bubble with a ceramic stone is much smaller, so you get a bigger surface area. Thus, more oxygen dissolves into the water with a smaller air bubble. So we've got pros and cons again.
And it's not until the bubble actually bursts that it creates the oxygen. Is that right?
No, it should be dissolving oxygen. The whole surface area of the bubble should be dissolving oxygen as it's coming up through the water. It bursts on the surface. So that's gone, isn't it? What oxygen can only get into the water through diffusion through the surface, and also if you make the surface dead flat, it's a small surface area. If you agitate the surface, you can double the surface area, whether it's with air or water, whatever. So when you've got wind on a pond, you're doubling the surface area, thus it will diffuse twice as amount of oxygen in and twice the amount of carbon dioxide out. But yeah, the finer the air bubble, the more that will diffuse into the water as it's rising up through the water. So a big air bubble, again, it's surface area. It's the same as your filters for your bacteria. Surface area is king. It is with air bubbles as well. And you get like the oxygen diffusers, which are even finer bubbles, and you can barely see them when they're running, and they're just putting pure oxygen into a pond or a vat or whatever, and that's obviously dissolving as it's rising, but it's a very small bubble, so you've got a lot bigger surface area for the amount of air or oxygen you're putting in.
I always thought it didn't until it burst, until it popped.
Yeah,
I'm
On
sure
the
I read
surface,
that.
your air bubble comes all the way top and pops on the surface, so it's kind of just going back into the air then, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's not, you know,
That's what I'd read on the internet that's what I'd read. I had read that on the internet that it doesn't until such time as it bursts at the surface when it releases the oxygen
into the surface. Yeah, but if you imagine air on top of a pond is diffusing into the water, an air bubble in the pond is diffusing. It's no different. It's the same, exactly the same.
When it comes out initially is a small size, and as it rises to the surface, it becomes bigger.
Yeah, but the pressure will change as it comes up, so you'll get a change of pressure, but it will still, the contact times, it's not great. But obviously, you're also drawing up all the as the air comes up, it's dissolving air. The oxygen from that air is dissolving into the water, but it's also drawing the water up with it. So you're getting a turnover of water. So you're exposing more of the water to the air as well. So you're getting a better diffusion rate. You're creating the rip. So it's helping in lots of ways. But the bubble itself is no different to the air on the surface of the pond. You've got air and water, and the two things will. But it takes time to diffuse oxygen from the air into the water. It's quite a slow process.
Yeah.
So if you've got big bubbles that are rising really quickly, it's not really doing you a lot of good. But the problem with the finer air stones is they have a tendency to start blocking.
Yeah.
So guess what, Vince? It's all relative, mate.
Yeah, I knew it was coming.
I thought with the vacuum showers as well. I've actually seen a guy, and I have watched. We've watched it collectively together. He's running a vacuum shower and a trickle shower. The trickle shower is running at 10,000 litres an hour, and that uses, when it goes in, it's tested the pond water, and the pond water is, like say, parts per million of oxygen, whatever it is. And when it comes out of the trickle shower, it's reduced, it's less.
It should be almost dead. It should be nothing.
And yeah, pretty much next to no in comparison to what's in the actual pond. And then when he's got the vacuum shower running at 20,000 litres an hour, it's still less than what it originally went in, because the nitrifying bacteria is using some of it up.
It will use some, but it should be gaining. If it's running, if you're smashing the water enough and you've got enough tiers, so you've got that broken water exposed to air, basically, again, you're creating a massive surface area for it all to become, the surface area is bigger, so the diffusion rate's faster. So yes, the filter is using a huge amount of oxygen as it's going, but it's also replenishing that oxygen as it's going through. Whereas like a moving bed filter or your Nexus or your whatever is consuming a lot more oxygen than you're putting in with your air stone. Obviously, you need the air stone and it's all helping, but you'd find that a Backy shower return water's got more oxygen than a Nexus return water. And
he did a test on his moving bed, massive, great big moving bed, and the levels in there were something like 100 and odd less than what they were in the main pond.
Yeah,
so that was
your main consumer of oxygen in any pond situation is the filter. That's beyond everything else. So your filter is your main oxygen user. So you've got to try and outweigh that with whether it's, let's say, backy showers are great when they're running properly, but you get this sort of chilling effect. If it's cold, you've got negative sides to it. The more air you sort of run in a Nexus is better, but again, you've got limits on that. The Tempest and the old sound filters were terrible for it. You basically put water in, and the biological action would just strip every bit of oxygen out of the water. So your return water is just devoid of oxygen. And if you under the surface,
ball-shaped ones.
Yeah.
You mean in like the sand fillers?
The sand filters always used to be like swimming pool filters and whatever. That
Like a ball-shaped bead. Like we sometimes use them as bead filters as well.
Yeah, all the same principle, but there's no way oxygen can get into that environment except for the water coming in. And the problem is, obviously, that water comes in fully saturated with oxygen if you're lucky, and it's coming out devoid of oxygen at the other end. And if you're not putting that water back through a waterfall or a blade, or a lot of people have subsurface returns because it's nice and still, and that water's coming back in dead, and there's no, it's only your pond surface area then that's going to be putting oxygen back in. So you're creating a negative sort of environment for oxygen, which is in most ponds is fine. You haven't got enough fish in there, or you're not feeding heavy enough. But as soon as you add more fish and you feed heavier, and it's a bit hotter, and we have a thunderstorm roll in, it can all go.
All those elements together at once.
Yeah.
Perfect storm.
Yeah.
And going back to what you were saying about the greenery in the ponds taking out the oxygen at night, people would be better off running their aerated bottom drains at night than they would at daytime.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. The algae takes a lot out, doesn't it, on a night when it becomes more active.
But the problem with algae for the later part of the spring through the summer to now is brilliant, because the day length is much longer than the night length. But as we move into September, when suddenly it becomes 12 hours light, 12 hours dark, you're getting a negative. It's not putting as much oxygen as it's taken out, and you end up with. See, that's why oxygen problems get worse as the season goes on. Also get worse because you're feeding fish generally are bigger, fatter, heavier, been eating more. So everything again accumulates to a problem come September time. If you're aware of it, it's not a problem. But if you're someone that's grown 50 fish in their pond from 12 inch to 20 inch all summer, and it's 25 degrees and everything's brilliant, and you're starting to feed a kilo a day, and all these things sort of combine, then you can suddenly have a major problem that you just didn't see coming. And it happens generally when you sleep at night, next morning. Usually the case. Most fish keepers have seen it at some point, one way or another.
Oh hell yeah!
But that's what I was saying. So basically, the filtration, we have problems in our shop because the systems in the shop, the filters are incorporated in the ponds, so the oxygen usage is massive. So obviously, if pumps stop, then you just haven't got that turnover, and the filter and the fish, everything's just stripping oxygen out, and they will struggle very, very quickly.
Yeah. Let me do what I can do while these guys have a chat about, because the next one, which is probably the reason why you were prompted with that one, mate, because we have in the groups that everybody's in, we have heard of a lot of people that have lost a few in and around topics and one of his other questions that we've got in is from MJH Coy. For me, guys, oxygen levels in the pond when you have electric problems and no oxygen going in the ponds. This has happened to me earlier this week, as you know. If I had left it a day longer, I would have lost more. But it was glad that his electric problem wasn't on the hottest areas almost, or he would have lost a lot more koi. Do you reckon koi keepers? This is why we're saying about the solar. You reckon koi keepers should have ponds and air pumps when they've got no electric, then they can turn to solar panels for a backup system?
be nice, but most solar doesn't produce enough power to
That's
work.
what I mean. Yeah.
And you just got to basically back up yourself as much as you can. So if you can have, they do air pumps that have got backup battery units that will give you 8 hours air pump, which will save you in an emergency. It's not an easy one.
No.
We get a few every year that power companies shut down or things trip, or you have a thunderstorm and it takes a fuse board out during the night. Who do you blame? You could say, "Oh, I've had a generator," but if you're not awake, we've got alarms on ours. But someone's still got to get the message, go and deal with it, and find out the fault and get it all running again. And also, if the power's out, get generators on. Where do you stop? I don't. Each person to their own. Yeah, you can have as much backup as you like. Sod's Law's got a way of catching you when you're not there. The one day you're not there to do anything will be the one day things tend to go wrong. But
one thing I haven't noticed before is I've noticed both at Cuttlebrook when I helped out there years ago, and at Adam Byers, at night they have a water pump just pumping water up into the air and then back into the pond through the evenings. Is that something you do at New Forest? And if not, why not?
That's just a spray. It's just a way of aerating ponds when they're heavily stocked or whatever, certainly mud ponds or whatever. So we run air into the heavily stocked mud ponds. So we'll have a continual air supply in them. So it's the same, different. And the big lake, we've got basically it's a boat propeller in a box. And it basically just fires water up from the pond. And again, it just creates that exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
But same. It's the same principle. Every farm will have oxygen's your number one killer in a pond, especially in the autumn when you've grown a pond of fish from 4 inches to 12 inches. Those fowls and fish suddenly are using a lot more oxygen. There's a lot less oxygen available. They're eating more food. So you walk to a point where if you haven't got added aeration, at some point you'll have a mass problem. But whether it's electric pumps running, whether it's solar, whatever, I say some of them will pump air directly into 24 hours a day at the end of the season. Some we've got added aeration. It's part of fish farming. You sort of go around, you know what ponds might be an issue. You hopefully deal with them. But I say, blown air pumps, power outages, you can always get caught out. Yeah. But
I was thinking about again for a change.
He's disappeared. Look.
Next line up this week.
On one of my old intensive units, I had a big switchboard. So when the power went, it fired up a diesel generator, which kept everything running, and that saved me a few times, and it worked fine until the one time when it asked the generator to start, it doesn't start.
Yeah.
You back to the same failure that you were when it went off in the first place, kind of thing. So it's belt and braces. You cover everything you can, but at what point? Yeah, I mean we've had disasters on the farm. I mean, one Christmas we lost a whole recirc of fish, and it was the one day they weren't checked and had an oxygen supply that kicked in. So solenoids kicked in. If the power went, the oxygen came on, and there was 24 hours worth of oxygen continually pumped into the system. So it basically covered 363 days of the year because we were covered it every day. Christmas Day, one day the boss didn't check them, and it had gone. And so there's thousands of pounds worth of dead fish. And that's sod's law, isn't it? You couldn't write that. It couldn't have happened at any other point apart from that one point. So happy Christmas. Let's just
The problem with backup generators is if you're not using them, when you do come to use them, it's a chance it won't bloody work.
Yeah, the automated one, like I say, it worked. It worked for a couple of years, and then obviously it hadn't been kicked in for a period. And when it was called upon, it was like, "Nah, you're right, mate. I'm not starting."
Yeah,
that's that. And then So
The thing is,
thousands of pounds worth of machinery doesn't work.
you don't think to start it once a month just to make sure, do you? When everything's going fine, you leave it alone.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, how often have you ever had? I mean, I've lived here for 15 years now. Never had a single power outage once.
You lucky Tom.
Yeah.
We used to get,
loads.
we probably get 5 a year on the farm.
Well, I'll tell a lie. I had a power outage last week, but that were down to me electrocuting myself in kitchen and tripping everything out.
Yeah.
Other than that, oh no, it hurts as well. It's proper smart. I dragged the washing machine out. Sorry, I know this is a little bit off topic, but I dragged the washing machine out and I put my hand underneath just to pull it and touched the bushes on the motor. Man, it felt like somebody stamped on my arm. It was bad. But yeah. That tripped all the power out to the house, and obviously that was the power outage for about, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 seconds while I flicked everything back on again. But other than that, I've never had an outage here at all. You watch now, we're going to have one.
Yeah.
I should have kept my mouth shut. But yeah.
Don't go jinxing it.
We've not had one yet, as of yet. Not even with any. Might have had, when you get like a bit of bad lightning where power's just flicked off for a couple of minutes, but nothing where you could say, "Oh shit, what we're going to do?" Panic. But
we quite often lose power.
About having some form of a backup system, though, doesn't it? It does make you think what. Because I was saying to Vince the other day, it makes you think about one, not so much if there's an outage, but if you get a fault, your air pump packs in, and not having a backup air pump.
But you've got to see it. That's the problem as well. We've had problems where, an air pump packs up, but obviously it's not noticed because we've got them all over the shop until you suddenly it's a bit late. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I had a spell where I kept getting mice getting into the bloody koi house, and the little bastards kept chewing through the airline.
Yeah.
Why is the headstone not working? And I was tracing it back, and there's a bloody great big hole in the pipe where the mice just chewed through it.
Yeah, I think they quite like a bit.
You mice problems chewing through ponds and liners as well, aren't you?
Yeah, chewing through pond liners, chewing through electric cables. Bloody hell, I set a trap regular, and I must have caught 20 mice last year. It was like an army of them. They just never ended.
Yeah, but they love it. There's food, spilled food, warm. Down the side of a pond's always warm in the summer, and that you got a bit of insulation, nice nest.
Yeah, like a forest. So I just dropped the mice over into the forest for the foxes to eat. But at some point there must have been nearly as building up as high as the fence bodies.
I had mine. Remember when I had that one chew through my UV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put pipe lighting on my pipes, and underneath the little rock area where I've got the little polishing set up in there, the little UV that were attached to it, it chewed absolutely tons of the pipe insulation and made a tiny little nest at the side of the box, and then decided one day they were going to chew through my cable as well. But I didn't off and rewind it back in again, but I didn't know. I didn't twig until the water started discoloring and started going a bit more green. I thought, what's going on here? And I found out.
But if you have the power outage, though, Ricky, it's not just aeration and pumps you lose, though, is it? It's all your predator protection and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the otter fencing's. Yeah, most of the otters know it's there. I think it's not such a problem. It's the short-term effect, and it's that night when you will lose ponds of fish. That's is an issue, and you need to know. So yeah, we've got a system that. So if the power goes, we will get notified on our mobiles immediately. But that's not 100% safe because obviously sometimes we'll have a power outage on part of the farm that's our fault. So we'll trip out a section of the farm, but we won't get notified on our phones by that because it's not taking out the mains. So yeah.
It's in the van already.
£6.
No, it's cloudy out. I've got a mechanical buffer for a polisher, whatever you want to class it as. And I forgot it last week. So he just sent me a little reminder So let me know that when he sees me tomorrow morning. It's already in the van, mate. It's already there. Sorry, as you were.
Where we're going.
We got a question then from Life Around the Koi Pond. Guys, as koi keepers, would you ever consider hydro generator or some kind of water generator to save money on powering our ponds?
Yeah, I've had a river running through the garden.
I mean, the amount of power that you would have to put through.
Well,
A generator.
annoyingly, there is an actual natural stream at the bottom of the garden, but the bloody council decided to pipe it in about 30 years ago. That would have been quite.
Even then, though, Dad, you'd need some serious flow of water going through it. You'd have to make the
Yeah,
world's
yeah,
biggest
yeah,
dam
right.
across the tram line. The amount of power that's needed to generate electricity from hydro generators is fucking huge. Hence the reason why you've got these massive, great big dams that go halfway across.
Well, that's all
valleys.
right. Build a massive dam.
I'll put windmills
Neighbours
up.
might not like it, but
You were turning your nose up last week and building 4 mud ponds. Now you want to build a massive dam. You didn't get the memo. Don't be dumb. But I mean, it's not feasible, is it?
no.
Not with technology we've got at the minute.
I think if you mean in the sense of what's it called when it's something that just keeps looping and keeps going on its own, what's it called? It's got a
Perpetual motion.
Yeah.
perpetual motion. I mean,
Don't know how that's going to help us.
it's never not to a point to where we could run power
No.
supplies up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all relative.
So, how much power, Aid and Simon, you two running ponds? How much power are you using to run your whole setups? 1 pond each.
Mine
How much
is
power do I
running
use?
about-
Yeah.
Go on, Aid.
Mine with my pond running 24 hours. I'm using about £1.80 a day, if that.
What's that? What are you using? About 250 watts across the pond?
Now I'm using about 165 watts. That's all I'm running.
So it's quite an economical.
I got me UV at 25 watts. I got my air pump at 68 watts, and I got two 10,000 pumps, which is running at 36 watts each.
Yeah. So you're running a pretty
that's
tight
all.
ship.
Yeah, because my ponds, it's only like 2,000 gallon. So I ain't got hardly any pipe work. So all my pipe work is on the back of the pond where my filter house is. So I ain't pushing a lot of water through, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So you're running a very economical setup. Simon?
Well, I think
you
I
might
am,
be
yeah.
more than that.
Mine's running anyway, obviously because I've got heater as well, so sometimes that's on. So mine runs anywhere between about 300 watts to about 1.5 kilowatt, depending on, if heater's running or not.
So you could probably say 500 watts as an average.
Yeah. But I've got
Possible.
solar on the house as well with batteries, so.
Right. Does that feed in? It's feed into your pond as well then?
Oh yeah, it does all system.
Yeah. So again, I don't want to know what we're running.
I didn't work it out.
I ain't got a clue what mine's doing. That's one for having a look at and working out. I'm going to write down watts of everything. I'll answer on maybe Saturday if I get a video out on Saturday.
It's quite interesting to just work it out, and obviously, a lot of people run a lot more stuff than they need to run.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can start, your electric bills. Oh, it's too expensive, but actually, yeah, you can. I mean, like Aid's running that's for a hobby. That's nothing, is it?
Yeah.
No, not
No.
really.
You're
It's ain't
probably
even a point to be,
more on water a day.
You guys are going to have
No,
to
I ain't
hang
on a
about
water
that.
meter.
Go on, yeah. Just let's stay there.
Talking over each other. No, Vince, what did you say?
I
then?
know, on
I said he's probably
I
paying
know.
more for water than he is electric.
It's not on a meter, he's
water
right.
meter.
It's not a water meter. Me neither, mate. It's awesome, innit?
No.
Yeah.
Get that meter like. No thanks.
Lucky.
It's just us northerners are tight anyway, eh? We money.
Yeah. That would be the thing that would prevent me from about an hour and we're on a meter. I'd be like, yeah. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, you're breaking up again.
Yeah.
What was that?
We all like it.
Bloody hell, what's the lights on?
Just like
Been struck by lightning.
Happy birthday, Daz, by the way. Is it tomorrow?
Cheers. Yeah. No, Saturday. I thought it was tomorrow, but it's actually Saturday.
I'm hoping it's Saturday.
Stop counting when you get
Happy birthday, Daz, by the way.
Cheers, everyone.
So are you 56 or 57, Daz?
54, Vincent.
It's about 10 miles behind my car.
What was that, Gaz?
Is it just gas playing up?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing
Is
off.
it? It makes a change. It's usually my mode's playing up.
I need to put another pack.
Get some.
How much are you using, Vince?
How much am I using?
Yeah.
The main pond, I've got two J-Bro 10,000 litre pumps. One's running at full jack, which is 80 watts. The other one's running at 65%, which works out about 68 watts. And then I've got a 13 watt UV and the air pump, which I'm not sure on the wattage on that one.
Yeah. Well, I've got 360 watts, I think 8,000 litre pumps in the main ponds. And then the rest of and I've got UVs as well. Nothing massive, about 12 watts of UVs. Air pumps, God knows how many of them I've got going, but they're minimal, about 12 watts or 6 watts. 12 watts for big one. And then I'm just upgrading all the other pumps to my smaller tanks, because if you shop around, you can get that's like 10 watts does 3,000 litres an hour, which is pretty economical.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got multiple tanks, it soon adds up when you're like 10 tanks like that. It makes sense to put eco pumps on them all if you can. But it's just cost. You're having to sort of retool everything to replace what you've already got. But in the long run, it's going to work out cheaper.
I think one area that people can save a bit of money in having a pond is by not bothering with a backy shower.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I don't have is heating. If I
You've got to get fucking backy showers.
I've not got nothing
Well,
against them, but
vacuum.
you don't need one to run a pond, do you?
No, it's not an essential. No.
With my vacuum shower, I've got a Tempest running through mine, and I'm running that at the full. Like as I say, it's 36 watts. That's running at. It's running off power 50.
Yeah. I've just set up a 3-tier backy shower on one of my koi ponds, and I've got a Tempest. So I'm going to run that as like a pre-filter to take the mechanical waste out.
Yeah.
Getting around to setting it up. It's on my to-do list.
That very
But
big
do you
to
run your vacuum showers all year round?
Yes.
Yeah, there's no point off in the winter. I don't switch anything off in the winter, other than air stones.
Both of my filter systems end up going over my backy shower. My backy shower is my one and only return, because the skin return and the bottom drain return goes over the shower.
Yeah.
I think you could probably slow flow down through winter, couldn't you?
I could, yeah.
Yeah.
I do tend to slow it down. Slow it down as I slow down on the feeding.
Yeah.
But I still, even in winter, I still won't go past 60% on the bottom drain line.
Yeah.
Because I'm
And
only running
what pumps on that?
45 on my returns.
So again, Simon,
What pumps pulling bottom drain?
you've got a 10,000 litre an hour J-bow vary, and you've got exactly the same pump running the skimmer. Through the winter, I turn the skimmer right down to 30%. But bottom drain, I don't take it any lower than 6,000 litres an hour, even in the winter.
It works for you.
Yeah, if he's doing job.
Yeah.
Yeah, does it?
Nope.
My goddamn camera! I'm going to smash this thing in a minute. It's pissing me off.
He's
that
charging
what's
up for an
the
iPhone.
It's for some reason I'm getting lag, and I don't know why. But it is what it is.
Yeah. But at least
You
we can
got the boss.
understand.
It's what?
At least we can understand you now.
Well, so you can hear me okay now.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, not bad.
That was weird. There's another question there from Gaz. Many people always say bottom drains need purging every so often on gravity systems.
They do.
Many people say it's important to purge your bottom drain. How many really disconnect pipes on pump-fed systems to clean them out?
I ain't got a purge line on mine.
Yeah, but
A bottom drain will collect a lot of debris, whereas a pump fed system won't. So it's a different thing. Yeah. So your 4-inch drain will settle a lot of crud. So when you purge it, you'll get a
big lump of shite.
a load of crud come out.
When I do a clean, see, when I clean mine out, I'll just
Go ahead.
The drum going off in Simon's.
Yeah. To clean again.
Go on, Ed.
Go ahead. What are you saying?
when I clean mine, I ain't got a purge line on mine. But what I'll do, I'll switch the 4-inch full valve off, and I'll purge it that way. When I've emptied the middle bit out, and I'll just turn the pull valve back on, and it just whooshes out, and the crap comes out. I presume that'd be the same as purging one.
Yeah, same as just putting that into your Nexus or wherever it's going, rather than out to waste, isn't it?
Waste, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't got a separate purge line.
And this is where I've had a few arguments with people, and they're like, you should put a T before your Easy Pod and use that as a purge line. Well, why is it going to make any difference if it's going that way as to going that way? Can you see what I mean? There's
Just
no difference to purging into your Easy Pod than there is purging on a right angle, because it's still going to go to waste.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The only difference is the more greater head you give it, the quicker it's going to, more pressure you're going to have to push it. So if you come out the right
there's no real difference having it come out that way than there is coming straight up.
No,
you've got a bit more head though, haven't you, if it's coming out at a right angle, or if it's low down.
That's the only difference. You'll be pulling, because obviously if you're going upwards and you've got a bit of water in your Nexus or whatever, you're losing a foot of head to what you'd have coming out as a purge. But as long as it's got enough pull, by changing that oomph, you normally would pull it through. But yeah, we got a couple of customers that have got bottom drains feeding drums and didn't put purges in. So they back up the horrendous. Every month you've got to take off rubber boots and get a face full of crud as it.
So have you got to have a purge line then?
Don't have to, but if you want it, crud will build up in a bottom drain system, a gravity fed system, and the only way of clearing that really is to have a release purge that just blasts it through easiest if it goes to waste, isn't it? In 10 seconds, you've cleared the pipe work and off you go again.
Yeah.
It's just amazing how much.
Mine is good.
Yeah, yours is
So
good. But
mine
you
is good as a purge then.
pretty much, yeah, you're just putting that debris into your filter system where you've got to then get rid of it, and you're not got as much head as you would on a normal purge. So if a load of gravel ends up in your pond and goes down the drain, and that blocks up, so you obviously the denser the stuff that's in the drain, the harder it is to purge out of the drain.
You might have to flush it two or three times or something like that.
But you can always do that, like what Andy from Derby Coy does. He has like a connection that he puts onto his pressure washer, which is like a mini jetting system. And he just sticks it down the pipe, washes it through, and then flushes it all out to waste. He put himself like a separate system in, didn't he? So he can just do that and clean it out and blast it through.
Yeah, you shouldn't need to, if you've got a big enough purge on it, if you've got a raised pond and you've got 3 foot of head, it's going to come out of the storage pipe like an absolute.
Yeah, and Andy's pond is a pump fed pond though.
Right, you see.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's why he uses the pressure washer.
Yeah, crud will build up anywhere it can settle. It will naturally settle.
Well, you get that slight little build up, don't you? And it builds up and builds up till eventually you have the bottom quarter of your pipe is just
Dense, sandy, gritty shit.
Shit and crap. Yeah. It's bad, and that's where your bad bacteria can happen, and that's when your trouble starts.
I disagree with that a little bit. Yeah.
What?
I disagree with that a bit. I mean, you're always going to have a certain amount of debris build up, and it's not going to create bacteria. Going to cause problems, and you've got whole. My main filtration system. A section of it is purposely clogged with crap, so it's anaerobic. So it takes my nitrates out and converts them back to nitrite, reverses the cycle. So I'm removing the end product through some of my filtration. Most people look at it and go, "Oh, that's disgusting," and yet it's doing. I've got basically no nitrates in a pond that's been running for 3 years, being fed heavy with very little water changing, because I've got sections of the filter that are anaerobic specifically to do that, and that is just your crud build-up, but it won't produce bacteria that are going to cause health problems. That
bit in the bottom of your pipe's not a filter, is it? That's just a build-up.
Yeah, but it's kind of the same. Anywhere, it's like anything. If you keep the water parameters correct, then that's what's important to the fish. And if you've got a section of your pond that's anaerobic, all that does is the bacteria that's in that are anaerobic bacteria that basically will take away nitrates and reverse the whole cycle. So but they won't create bacteria that are going to cause you health problems in your fish.
So what's the need for a purge then?
Because if you're not getting the flow rates. Your pipe work's building up with crud, and it's restricting your flows.
Well, so a purge is purely just to get rid of crud.
Yeah, and if you want to run a lovely clear pond or whatever,
bacteria in there ever.
It's not. You'll create a breeding ground for anaerobic bacteria, but the bacteria that cause most problems with fish aren't. They're both. They're aerobic, anaerobic. They're not. It's a different world. You can't create something. The environment. You can't just create a whole new strain of bacteria because the environment's in a certain way that will. So most of the health problems with fish come with fish. And if you've got a healthy population of fish and you're keeping the water parameters of the fish, you're keeping that all good, and you're staying on top of, you're getting the parameters you want, that's fine. And whether in our mud ponds we've got sections that are anaerobic or aerobic, depending on how much the silt's being kicked up or not, it's a natural environment. But yeah, you don't want, if you've got masses of areas where gunk's building up and filters are clogging up and things aren't running properly, then obviously you're going to reduce your flow rate. You're going to, all that gunk in your pipework is going to be using your oxygen before you even start. So it's all, again, I don't want to say it, but it's
all relative.
Yeah, most koi ponds you want to be running. Yeah, most koi ponds you want to be running as clear as possible, because that's, you want to see the fish. You don't want to see particles in the water. You don't want to see stain in the water. You want it gin clear. And to have gin clear water, you do need all solids, which is why drums are amazing, because they're taking solids out before they get a chance to leach anything into the water. You're just removing the vast majority of what most people struggle with before you start. And then your biological filter is just dealing with the liquid-based ammonia and the rest of it, and it works without ever really having to do any cleaning on it. You will have areas that maybe will settle and whatever, but it's not a major concern as long as it's all doing as it should.
So to play a little bit of devil's advocate, I'm sorry, Si, to bring you into it, mate, but the bacteria that you thought you got within your filter system isn't the case.
You what, sorry?
The bad bacteria that you thought you'd got within your filter system isn't the case then. So the bacterial infection you got within your pond came from an introduction.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It could have been on his fish for years and something's triggered the problem, but that bacteria would be there. And if you've got a part of your pond that's not working, as Simon did, he had a section of his fluid bed that was all gone solid and full of crud. That's for the system he's running is not going to be perhaps helping him because that's not running as it should be running.
Yeah,
but that is not going to be causing
the source of
an ulcerating bacterial disease that's going on in his pond. That's got to have started, from a fish, whether it's a fish that's been in there and got stressed enough and become, some immune system's dropped off, or if it is an introduction last year, it's one of those things. Or
But it also affects your water quality as well, doesn't it? What could cause a stress factor or something like that?
Will bring out health problems, but health problems got to be there. So if you started with a sterile, one of our fry that is as sterile in an environment where it's sterile, see that fish can't get costia, it can't have a bacterial problem. Those things can't just appear. Those parasites and bacteria, they come across during their life. Obviously, they get moved from pond to pond.
To be produced. Yeah.
Most people breed their fish, and the offspring are with the parents, and anything the parents have got, then the offspring have, and it just ticks along. And you could have, any amount of health problems in your pond, and if they're in an environment where they're not being stressed and they're incredibly settled and the water's really good, brilliant, and you might find you catch those fish up one day and take them to a show, and they start falling to bits of a bacterial problem or a parasite problem that's been there, but it's been triggered by a stress event. And that's the lowering of their immune system, and something that's there is then manifesting itself, which is where heat ramping comes in, where stressing fish. That's this, there's no such thing as a sterile. Even if we try and start with sterile fry, there's no such thing as sterile fish by the time we're selling them, because they're going into different water sources, different ponds. They'll be picking up stuff every step of the journey, and then if you start mixing with people's ponds and fish coming from Japan or Israel, wherever, then you've got a whole array of different things starting to come in, and their immune system's got to deal with it. And you'll treat for a problem, but the chance of you actually eradicating every single thing you're treating for is basically never going to happen. What you're doing is you're knocking the numbers back to let the fish's immune system to deal with it, and it keeps it all in check. But then when things go wrong, they go wrong because obviously either a super aggressive bacteria or parasite or virus has been introduced, which is quite common when you suddenly put a new fish in. 2 weeks later, every fish in your pond's got problems. That's quite an obvious one. Simon's is different. He's hadn't put any fish in, and this problem's manifested months down the line. And it's like, well, what's happened here? And it could be, like I say, a stress event, a temperature, or like I say, a water quality issue that's triggered it. And once one fish starts suffering, it just rolls on, and then you're on that.
I think that's kind of what led me to believe that it was probably me filters that had caused it, because I thought, well, if all that crap's stuck in my system, it's going to be causing me water problems. I think that's probably what.
Yeah, it does. Those things, and it's nice when you do have a problem to try and have an issue and think, well, that could be the cause. I can do something about that, and I'm going to make the environment better, and I'm doing a positive thing. And this, like Vince's tank show the other day, when that fish looked horrendous out of the blue, looked horrendous. A little bit of TLC, you were on the verge of knocking it on the head, but a little bit of TLC, and it's literally
it's good.
and it's mended. But that's obviously an issue that fish has got that just needs a bit of a helping hand. And it's obviously not an aggressive bacterial problem that's gone from fish to fish to fish before you know it, causing problems left, right, and centre. It's a different scenario, different setup. So
I'm going to ask a stupid question here. Since I've done this pond
It's
better,
never a
I've got like
stupid question,
a
mate,
pondy
if you
smell
don't know.
now. It's like a proper pondy smell, like, you know, if you go down the canal or something like that. Is that natural, like that sort of smell?
yeah. Well, obviously, when you've got a natural
Got that
environment, you have
now. It's
algal,
like
the pond smell. A lot of that's
because I
algae.
ain't got no algae yet.
Yeah, but you'll have algae all the time. Obviously, your UVs are killing and your filters are taken out, and the bacteria so you do generate an aroma. You can't walk into
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
It's like a aroma I ain't smelt before on the pond, but it smells, I don't know, it don't smell bad, if you know what I mean. It smells like you're just walking down the canal or something.
I don't know what your canals are like. I don't know, that could be good or bad.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, but you do
Pond
get
smell.
an aroma. And when you've got that much, when you've got a lot of fish producing ammonia, you've got algae being killed continually by UV, and that will, all the biological action that goes on will start generating, and also you're aerating that out with, especially with a nexus or whatever, you're bubbling those things out of the water into the air, and if it's in a shed or something, you'll get it even stronger because
it's only the outside. You can smell the water in the pond.
Right.
We're all going off.
It's ain't a bad smell, you know what I mean? It's like I don't know. It's hard to explain. I told you it was a stupid question.
It's not. We've got certain types of algae in some of our ponds have got a really nasty smell. You know, you can smell them, and every one of our ponds will go a slightly different colour, from greens to browns, almost to reds. And yes, some algae you look at and you think, yeah, that's good, and others the fry in that pond are not going to do so well, and they don't like certain types of algae, whether it's the size and it affects the gills or whether it releases something. There's so many variables, but you're in trouble once the pond's gone boom with an algae bloom. It's not easy to change that. That's just the algae you've got. We used to try and buy in algae from labs, specific types of algae colonies that would grow and seed the ponds, but it just doesn't work. They do what they want to do, and you can do 10 ponds identically, and they'll all have a different strain of algae that takes over, and some are good, some aren't so good, and some are downright toxic. You got a smelly pond.
That's the question. So.
It's not bad.
When it's a bad smell, you know what I mean? I thought.
Yeah, I
Say
can't
it again.
smell.
Ed, are you trying to tell us you've got a fetish for pond smells, mate? Is this an adult? Ooh, smells like a good year.
Heisenberg pond sniffer.
Yeah, but it's a smell I've never smelled before off my pond. That's what I'm saying. Is that because it's running better now?
It could be starting to mature up. You're feeding a different food.
Yeah,
he's frozen now. Look.
Oh, mate, I ain't.
I think as long as it's not a really bad smell.
yeah.
If the fish are happy, mate.
Before I used to.
You can smell ammonia.
Before I used to have an ammonia smell in there. Before, when my fish was bad, it was like ammonia smell. It was a horrible smell off the fish, but I ain't got it now.
Yeah, that bad smell is just where they secrete when you've got a real problem, they secrete so much mucus that you just get that frothy stuff. And it's that's not.
It's
great.
like ammonia smell. It's horrible smell. I thought I'd just ask the question. You know what I mean? Some new thing.
It's not a stupid question, mate. If you don't know the answer, it's always worth asking. If you don't know, you don't know. And if it's something you're worried about, it's better to ask and get an answer in it.
Yeah.
No, I can't smell anything like that. Was it? But my mate Rich, he'll go into the polytunnel and he'll say, "Oh God, Daz, that tank needs cleaning out," and you can smell it. I'm like, "Oh, I can't smell anything."
Yeah, but you've been nose blind since COVID, though, haven't you?
Well, yeah, this is it. COVID's done my sense of smell, and the wife.
Yeah,
She can't smell anything. Can't even smell her own perfume.
There you go. Don't need to have a bath no more, then, do you?
That's it. Saving a fortune.
Hey, at least it wasn't your sense of taste that disappeared.
How many of you changed your koi food? Well, I popped to the bathroom. I'll let you ponder that one.
Yeah, I've tried one this year. Only for added colour. I used a standard koi food last year, but I've gone for one that's got colour enhancer as well in it this year. Apart from that, I wouldn't change it normally.
What brand is it, Daz?
No, ancient.
It's Queni Koi's Japan mix, but it's one that's got. I think it's got like. I think they call it 4 seasons or something. It's got 4 different elements to it. It's got colour, growth. I think it's got wheat germ and something else in it. There's 4 different colours to the actual pellets as well, like red, yellow, green, and brown. I think. I just tried it as a bit of a difference rather than the standard, but I still feed the standard food. At the end of the day, you get something that you like. Why change it if it works? Stick with it.
As long as you're happy with the results that it gives you and you're getting consistency, then you're all right, aren't you?
Yeah.
I don't change mine. Last time I changed mine were last year. Last year I was feeding the Coppens grower food, and I didn't really get on with it. I felt it was getting quite a lot of waste off in my pond, so I switched away from it.
The water quality, the Coppens growth will affect your water. You get quite a lot of scum, and it's not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was terrible at one point.
Brown yellow colour as well. The water does.
Yeah, but that's
really scum on the top as well.
Yeah, we change food. We trial food all the time, just because you need to. And obviously, companies change. You get happy with. We used to use quite a lot of Medicarp, and then they changed that, and it was like, no, it's not quite what it is, and you're paying more money for something that doesn't seem to be as good. And you're like, well, but
at the end of the day, the cost factor is a major issue, especially if you're feeding quite big quantities. I mean, we'd all love to just feed Sakai Akari, but that ain't gonna happen.
No.
I mean, at the end of the day, you should trial different foods. Just because you'll see that if you spend 2 weeks feeding one food, they try it and you'll see the waste to it, the colour difference, and you need to find not necessarily stick to the same thing all the time because there might be something better out there. But if you're happy with what you're paying for and it's doing the right thing, but I would say a lot of the growth foods don't do the water quality much good, and unless you're running the temperatures to get the best out of it, But it says growth. We try and we don't steer people away from it, but we try and explain to people what foods are perhaps better for the environment they've got and what they're trying to achieve. And growth food is 8 out of 10 not the best food for most people's ponds because they haven't got the temperature, they haven't got the age of fish to be growing, and you're just creating a lot of pollution. It's not the best for the water clarity. Whereas the staple that Coppens do and the spirulina and the Vitek are much better foods.
Yeah,
you did one.
Get people with old fish, and they're putting
the water like crazy.
And it's just building up its protein in the water because fish can only absorb so much, can't they?
Yeah, it's And if you look at different,
here's one for you, Rick. So obviously they can only process so much protein in foods and stuff like that. What is it, about 30-35%, something like that?
It depends on the age of the fish and the temperatures.
So I mean, like some companies, they use like up to like 44% protein in the food. So what's that all about?
Can digest that and absorb it, but the older fish, I think, when you're talking like 4-year-olds and above, I think it's about 38%. Anything other than that, it's just a waste product.
It's one of those things. Obviously, all the fry foods are between 45-50% protein, but those fish are doubling body mass every day or two. They're literally. But my main growing unit I use myself. I use the spirulina food, which is 35%, 37%, and the growth rates are getting there are better than we get on anything on the farm. And it's but that's a growing environment and giving them a food that's sensible for them. And but there's no point buying a 45% protein food if you've got a bunch of 4-year-old fish that aren't growing in a 18-degree pond. You just
you're just wasting your money.
It's overkill, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, you basically end up start putting a lot of fat. The fish, every bit of protein they can't use, they just comes out as pure ammonia, and then they'll put a lot more fat. You tend to start getting really fat fish as well because they're eating high calorific food without. Where else are they going to put it? They just build up fat on in their internal organs, and just like us, isn't it? You just because it says growth. That's kind of the problem. It says growth, and I want my fish to grow. I'm going to buy this growth food, and you don't. Again, I'm not saying it, Vince. Get the right food for the right environment. It'd be the better one.
It's into you can
and obviously at the end of the day, if you it depends what you want to do with a fish. If you condition them for a show, if you just want them to be, if you want them to be tame, then obviously different foods work better for that as well. If you want your fish to come see you and be hungry, but you want to feed a lot, so you can feed a sort of almost a lower protein, less calorific food, and you can feed them more, and you'll get them come to see it and become super tame, and then you can change the diet again to hand feed them treats, and give them something that they do prefer. The bad foods, the foods that are higher in fish meal, higher in oil, that's what they'll naturally go for. If you hold that in your hand and chuck a load of rice sticks or whatever in there, they want that stinky, high protein food.
Yeah.
Pretty much anyone that's got sturgeon and tries to feed their sturgeon soon realise, you want to eat the sturgeon food before
so what we're saying there is it's all relative.
But that's where we were going. I was avoiding that.
I have actually thought about perhaps maybe changing what I'm feeding and giving something else a go. I mean, my way of looking at it is, well, you always get bored to shit out just eating the same thing day in, day out. Just a little bit in the treats and stuff that I give them, and then feeding them some stuff like prawns, mussels. I actually got, I said the other week, I got the
I'll be back in 5.
Okay.
Feed.
Right enough.
Oh, no, real 5. Gone.
Disappeared. I think at the end of the day, the more we encourage, obviously, we sell a brand of foods from Coppens, different types, but we encourage people to go out and buy other foods as well, because at the end of the day, the more variation, if you buy one bag of Sakai Hikari a year to feed your fish as special treat for them, whatever, or buy some Medicarp, or buy some Shiroji or Takazumi or whatever, because there'll be different ingredients in them all. And if you're using a food that is limited in the amount of zinc or something, then a different food might have more or something in it. And it's got to be a healthier long term. If you're looking after a pond fish for 10 years, then give them a different food now and again. And obviously you might give them a different food and go, wow, a week later they look much better. Wow, my water's rank. I'm not using that again. So yeah, trial. I think you should try them all. And obviously each food probably works slightly differently in everyone's pond.
Yeah.
So yeah. Or you can add stuff like I do. Then get some money going.
Give them a bit of variety and change the diet up a little bit.
Yeah.
In the day, they especially when they're in a captive environment, they've got nothing else. In a wild environment, they'll be eating berries off the bush and weeds and algae and live foods and slugs and snails and God knows what. Yeah. They'll eat pretty much anything. But in your pond, they are eating whatever you chose to feed them. And some foods have got all sorts, grass meal and poultry meal and all sorts of stuff that are quite weird and wonderful. That actually,
what do you think to poultry meals as opposed to fish meal? Obviously, poultry meals now are coming up a lot in foods. What do you think to it as a main protein source?
And it shouldn't really be as a main protein source, but to make foods economical, they have to use fish meals are so expensive and getting more and more expensive. So they use insect meals. Poultry meals been used in foods for donkey's years.
I noticed Coppens are using quite a lot of poultry meal, aren't they?
They use all sorts because I say fish meal is becoming a premium. So to keep producing a food that's got a set amount of protein, available protein, and whether that comes from, wild Atlantic salmon or wherever it comes from, poultry meal or yeast product, insect meals. Ideally, we'd use fish meals are something that were used and are obviously very good. But
when you say poultry meal, is that like layers mash, that kind of stuff?
No. It actually,
Poultry.
Poultry meal means
with a chicken.
Actually,
right.
Chicken on a carcass.
Right. So it's not chicken feed, it's actual chicken.
So basically, if you're producing a fish food, you need sources of protein, and that's going to come from fish meal, animal stock, insect meal, something that's soy is used quite a lot, but fish really struggle to digest soy meal. It's not something, and obviously that was one of the go-to products for years to bulk the protein levels in fish foods. Yeah. But they have massive problems with getting the fish to digest those proteins from those places where they'll digest chicken meal easier, or they'll digest fish meal even easier.
The farts as well, isn't it?
Yeah. But at the end of the day, so insect meal is probably closest to their real diet, and that would actually probably be the best line to follow, because their natural diet is zooplankton and it's all water-based insects. So that if you could produce a food from those places, that would be the best you could get. But the costs involved are just, it doesn't work. So
everybody's camped and everybody. This is going to shit tonight, isn't it? Really good.
I'm going to catch you guys later.
Nice.
Catch you later. I'll catch you at the show on Sunday.
Another one.
See you Sunday, bud.
Going to be busy out there Sunday.
Bring plenty mugs.
Bring plenty mugs.
Bring plenty mugs. I've got 10 to give away.
Okay. Sweet.
I'll catch you later.
See you later.
Laters.
Get Daz back in.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I think I struck that light.
I don't think it's any of us. I think it's StreamYard. Because my PC is running fine and I've just done a speed test. It's not my system at all. But if you watch, it's going from my camera to size to yours to Rick's to Vince, and it's doing that from everyone. I think we're getting some kind of lag issue through
interference.
StreamYard.
Yeah.
So I apologise for it. We've got a question then from Irish. Sorry if I missed it. I'm so far behind with everyone's content, but Vince, mate, what salt level did you heal the tancho? 0.3, mate.
So I had it at 0.6.
0.6, I think.
He said 0.3 this evening.
Did he? Well, it was 0.6 as the dose I gave him.
I thought right. 0.6.
Did he? Oh, my apologies. I thought because I said to him you could have had it higher than that. He said, "Yeah, no, but we didn't."
He ain't got a salt meter, so he gave me the volume, and I gave him the amount of salt to put in to that volume. So, yeah.
There you go. Right.
But whether he's water changed it or whatever, who knows? That's the problem. So if you ain't got a salt meter, you get in trouble.
Can I put in a slice of bread once a week because they love it?
Slice of bread?
Yeah.
Are you allowed? Will your wife let you? Can you just throw away food like
that? Should it be white or wholemeal?
Wholemeal's generally better, isn't it? It's like anything. White bread's pretty much. Yeah. But it ain't going to do anything. It's like a bit now and again is not going to do them any harm.
Well, this is true. Right. The ducks down the local lake and the carp eat the bread, don't they?
Yeah,
spit it back and it's out brown.
That's why you can imagine fish now, because carp come up from all kind of areas where everybody goes to feed ducks and stuff like that, because they know it's a food source and they switch onto it, don't they? Dave's asked, how many of you would buy or use a fish feeder and why? I wouldn't.
I use one.
I must admit, I mean, a fish feeder would be a massive boon to me, time-wise. But I do like to hand feed the fish. Yeah, it's controlled. You can control hand feeding them. There's going to come a point where there's too many, and I'll have to have feeders. But at the moment, I'm happy to hand feed.
If you want to grow fish properly, you do need a feeder.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get the best out of the fish.
Good thing with a feeder as well is you're supplying a constant amount of food to your filter each day, so your bacteria is getting the same amount of food each day.
Yeah, letting off is much better as well. So
yeah, definitely.
Most of our feeders are feeding for 12 hours and they're dropping in just a continual trickle of food for 12 hours. The downside of that is you get dominance of certain fish that will dominate that area and eat everything, and other fish that don't get so much. My personal pond,
well, I've got chagor in it. It hoovers food up.
It's under the feeder.
It's like that. It just smashes into all the other fish and knocks them like Skittles. Yeah,
so I think feeders, again, it's if you're someone that's trying to grow a batch of fish, then feeders are worthwhile. But at the end of the day, the enjoyment of generally going to your pond and seeing your fish come to you for food is one of the highlights of keeping koi. And if you've got a feeder running and you go to your pond and they'll bolt away because they've had enough food and they prefer the feeder, then not really enjoying the hobby like you should, are you?
Yeah. I do still hand feed mine a couple of times as well. I'll leave feeder to feed them while I'm out at work, and then when I come back, I'll feed them myself.
Which is, trying to get the most out of the fish you've got. So if you're not there all day and they want feeding 3 times during the day, you've got to use a feeder, haven't you? Really? Yeah.
And then when I get back, obviously because I want the same amount of food feeding my filter, so I don't get like any ammonia spikes or anything like that, I just have little bits just made up in pots.
Okay. It's not like me. I walk into my unit one day and I might feed them 8 cups and I won't visit them for another 24 hours. And I'll go back and give them another 8 cups. It's yeah. I feel it was once immature, they're pretty tolerant. Your sort of setup, you shouldn't really have any water quality issues. The numbers of fish you got with the filtration should be, not a major issue. So
I when I can be asked, when I want to go there and give them a bit.
Yeah, but if you want, most people want, when you go to your pond, you want the fish to come and see you, don't you?
Yeah.
And to do that, generally,
I like to examine them when I'm feeding them as well. Check them over, check the mouth, check the around the pecks and everything when they come up to the surface. Make sure there's no knocks, scrapes, or anything with them.
Yeah, and that's one of the best times to do it, isn't it? Especially if you haven't got a window, that's probably the only time you're going to see the underside of your fish or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I mean, feeders have definitely got their place. We use loads of them, but it's different scenarios. Commercial, in it, you're trying to get those fish to grow as much as possible for a window, but we don't use them on. We used to use them on all the mud ponds, and we had no end, and it got worse and worse. The amount of damage the fish were suffering, and it come down to they get so intent on that one area. They climb over each other, then the ducks and stuff climb over them, and before you know it, you're damaging fish left, right, and centre.
Yeah,
so
the fish are trying to get the feeder, and they're smashing themselves against the feeder.
They can cause a lot of split fins and things like that, can't they?
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I mean, you see it when you've got a pond of fish and they're so happy, then that you walk towards it and 200 fish come racing at you, and some of them just end up out of the water across the. They go crazy. So you almost have to try and, before they've noticed you, fire food out across the pond so they're spread out feeding and not all racing at you thinking they're going to get a bit of grub and end up damaging each other in the process.
Yeah, because they will literally climb out of water for food, won't they?
But when some of the ponds, if you fill them up, they'll come over and the top ones get thrown out the pond because they just ride across the wave and they're suddenly next thing they're no longer in the pond, they're out on the bank or on the side, and it's not it looks quite good on camera when you see them all rushing up and climbing over each other, but in reality, that's you don't want them doing that because, like I say, the amount of damage they then suffer, and as they get bigger, it gets worse. Little tozo you get when they're small, you sort of get away with it, but yeah, and damaged fish is a problem to sell, isn't it? Realistically.
Yeah.
Here we go.
A quick flick through and see if there's any more. But when you say that, Dino, about feeding bread, my dad's always done it. He's always done it. Maybe 1 or 2 slices a week. He just cuts them up into tiny little cubes. He even sits there going to trouble to like finally chop it all and just wangs it on. They've gone mad for it though. They always go mad. But he always does. He always does use brown bread as well. So I don't know. It was like we're just reading some comments that Gary was saying it's best to use brown bread though, because it's better for him than white. But yeah, my dad's always has.
Yeah, I don't think you could feed them with brown bread, but
yeah,
fish is probably better. It's designed for them.
Yeah.
Mike from Koi Beginning says to maximise growth, I'd say you definitely need an auto feeder. Yeah, I mean, cow farms aren't being tough. Not all of them use them.
No. It can be a bit unreliable as well. The bloody things tend to clog.
The problem with auto feeder, so you've got the other side. If something goes wrong with your pond, and an air pump backs up, or parameters go wrong, and your feeder carries on chucking food in, when the fish suddenly don't want it, or are eating it when they shouldn't be eating it, because the oxygen is about to go through the floor. And the trouble is with koi, they will carry on feeding heavily.
Yeah.
Into a disaster zone almost. You know, if your filter shuts down, they'll carry on feeding until the point it's all the water goes bad. By which time they're full of food, and you've compounded a problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, certainly you wouldn't grow fish. You'd struggle unless you're there feeding. It's about 7 times a day is your optimum feeding for young. So unless you're there 7 times a day to hand feed.
Yeah, summertime, I'm normally there twice a day, beginning and end of the day, and I can manage to get 6 or 7 feeds in, and I'll be like 3 feeds in the morning and then 4 in the afternoon, the end of the day. Yeah,
but the problem with that is you create a
but it's not
ammonia. You're not getting a nice sort of flow of waste going in and out. But
it's the best I can do at the moment. So until such time comes.
See, I get feed in the morning before I go to work, one as soon as I get home, and then something later on, and then mostly more feeds towards the weekend when I'm here. So I suppose really, I mean, it could do with a feeder to give it throughout the day when I'm at work and I'm not feeding.
But you're not the ones you've got at the minute. You don't want those fish growing flat out, really, because they'd be full up and they just. So what you're doing now is probably fine, but you'll probably find you're actually, if you're there on a nice weekend and you feed them 7 times on Saturday and 7 times on Sunday, you've doubling the amount of food you're putting on the weekend to what you are through the week. You'll get, again, I think your filters are big enough to get away with it. A lot of people aren't. They'll have a little pressurized filter. And
I did a lot of feeding last weekend and weekend before. A hell of a lot. Just wait to see.
I think mine
a little and often, but they did. I even fed them overnight. Does it what? 25 past 1 morning, and they still came up and fed.
I was feeding mine 11 o'clock.
I was doing it shed at 25 past 1 in the morning, but I was there.
11 o'clock last night. I was there still feeding them. One more feed before I go.
Yeah. I was surprised just how quickly they came straight up for it as well in pitch black. To see it was so dark. No,
they sense it's there.
Yeah, they were straight.
They don't care it's dark, do they? Food's food.
No, they just went nuts.
So how much food do you put in, Simon? How many fish you got in your pond at the minute?
5 now.
5?
Yeah, they get fed 11 times a day.
Bloody hell.
That's because obviously, like I say, it's mostly being fed by a feeder. But the feeder, at the minute they're being fed sake or a small pellet, and the feeder dispenses 1 unit of food with the sake or small pellet is 10 grams of food. So they're being fed 11 times at the minute.
So it's 110 grams a day going in there.
Yeah.
It's quite a lot for 5. How big are the fish?
The biggest one is, what's the biggest one? 50 cm.
Right.
The next one is probably about 47. Smallest one's about 23, I think it is.
Should be growing about a centimetre a day on that. Should be flying.
Well, the Chago is the biggest one. I got that last April. End of last April, I got it. I think it was 14 cm when I got it. And like I say, it's 50 now.
Yeah.
Yes. Hell.
That's what that's what you should be getting growth wise that.
But it's costing 479 quid in fish food.
No, it's not actually.
It's like a carry, mate. How many sacks have gone through?
Couple.
Yeah, that's 200 odd quid a bag, so 470 odd quid. So they're about right, wasn't
No, I do get a bit
you
of
could just
discount.
run out and buy a 50 cm bag.
You buy a 50 cm shag, you got to feed it even more.
It'd be cheaper to go out and buy a 50 cm shag.
Yeah, I bought this Chago at 14 cm. It cost me 20 quid.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
it stands you at just shy of 500 now. But you got the pleasure of watching it grow, mate, didn't you? That's the main thing, isn't it?
Turned into a banger. Did you get? There was. I remember Mike from UMakeOi once said, and the end of the day, we were chatting about something. And he goes, it's not always the quality of the fish to how they end up, because he goes, if someone's going to come to my place and the fish start at $2,000 or whatever, and they buy a $5,000 Nisai Kahaku because they spent $5,000 on it, and they're going to look after it like it's a $5,000 fish, and they will buy Sakai Hikari, and they will have a RO plant and showers, and they will give it an environment, and that fish will blossom like a $5,000 fish. He goes, but I could have a 500 quid fish that's exactly the same quality, and it'll go to someone else's pond, and it will get treated differently because it's a cheaper fish, and it will get cheaper food in a higher stock pond, and that fish won't blossom because of the environment it's now gone into, because of the price tag it started with. And it's like, it's one of those things, isn't it? You've turned a 20 quid little chag, cheapest chips fish, into something that's, if it was a good example to start with, you end up with a good fish. But a lot of people, they treat the fish to the sort of the price tag.
Yeah, it's true.
And just because it's one of those, the environment plays such a big role that the right fish in the right environment is going to blossom. But if you put that right fish in the wrong environment, it's going to go wrong because of the environment. So they could be, they start life identical quality and potential, and 2 years later they look like completely different beasts. Yeah. And it's one of those. It's just if people are going to spend that money on the fish, it's going to be given at one of those ponds that it's going to have more chance of flourishing than a fish that's going somewhere else that's stacked full of fish and being.
It does help that it's constantly eating as well, though.
Well,
Jags doing it. They're doing it. They're just beasts. They just eat for days, don't they?
It's like if you get Dainichi fish, just because it's Dainichi doesn't mean it's going to reach maximum potential. You just throw it in the pond and it will just grow massive and be beautiful. You can very easily ruin a fish.
Yeah, but you've got but you're buying from a genetic stock that's potentially better.
The potential.
If you choose the right fish from that stock and give it the right environment, you've got a much higher chance of getting that top end fish. Yeah. If you're buying fish from a breeder that produces loads of fish but of a lower quality, the chance of you, even if you pick their best fish, it still probably won't be as good as half of the. So the genetics play a part, but environment plays as big a part.
Yeah.
So but a lot of people buy hugely expensive fish and put them in environments where they're never going to flourish. Other people will buy cheaper fish and put them in really good environments and do really well with them. It's turned up.
Thank you so much.
You see it.
How's it going?
All good.
Hang on, let me turn you up a bit because you sound like girls still. Hey, Rick, man, I just wanted to beat you yesterday on the auctions, just so I could say I beat the breeder.
I didn't want
That
any
was
of them
the only
anyway.
reason.
Didn't want. I was just pushing you up because I didn't want them.
You
Ricky was like that.
He
like,
was,
"Oh,
mate.
this
He
is
was the only
horrible."
winner, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So, Gaz, just a quick one for you, mate. I was speaking to Ricky this morning. He'd like you to drop him a line so he can join the live one evening.
No, sweet. Nice one. We'll do.
Right. Secondly, before Rick asks, because he's like that. Nice haircut, by the way, Rick. You look more like Rick Ashley now.
Yeah, well, I did my gig at Glastonbury and I chopped it. It's done.
He looks like Rick Ashley at Glastonbury. Anyway, Momotaro event is going to be. I just put an announcement on your thing. I can't even remember the date I looked at now. I think it was the 28th of July, a Sunday.
Silence. Is that good or bad? 28th of July.
Yeah.
4 weeks.
Yeah, it's 28th of July. So it's going to be in 4 weeks' time on Sunday, basically.
4 weeks' time on Sunday.
Yeah, so looking at them now, we're looking average 30 centimetre of fish, probably 32. I haven't taken lots out, only the ones that I need to do for scrapes. I've just kept them swimming around in the water and whatnot. They're going to be graded next Sunday, where I will be able to then give the measurements of every single fish. So everybody that's on screen is invited anyway. It's invited to everyone. I'm going to try and make it, like I said before, where we can have little teams. You can announce your team on the day when you turn up, and there will be a prize for the biggest growth with a heated pond, the biggest growth with an unheated pond, and the biggest average size for a team. So it don't matter if you've got 2 people on your team or 52 people, the average is the average. You know,
Twisted.
so what we'll do is we will then award prizes. I haven't decided what they are, but they're probably going to be fairly decent, if I'm honest. And the prices are to be confirmed, but from what I'm looking at the minute, I'm sure I will be able to get them across between 180 and £200 for a fish. And if you haven't seen them, they are exceptional quality. There's not a bad fish amongst them, if I'm honest. Some of them will be shooters, some of them probably not so much. But when you take them out of the environment that they're in, I know they're all going to grow. The bone structures on them are absolutely amazing. The bunny quality is absolutely amazing. The shiroji is amazing. The sashi is there on every single fish, and a lot of them are showing extremely good kiwa as well. So you are going to get an absolute stonking fish for the money. All I'm going to ask is that everybody that takes part, it's not just coming to get a cheap fish for a couple of £100. I really need people to knuckle down, do it for what it's about, which is a competition, right? Because I will be inviting everybody back next year for the award ceremony as well, and we will put an event on just for the awards, maybe even another type of fishy event, you know, on top, like a, you know, Japanese auctions where you're not bidding each other up, but you're putting your name against fish that you like, and then drawing a name out of it for, you know, cheap fish all the way through, you know, things like that, and try and get more and more people involved. So there you go, Rick. I know you're quite keen for it, so I thought I'd give you an update, mate.
Here we go. Look. I'm going to get in so much trouble. So we've got the National this Sunday. We've got something the following Sunday. Something the following Sunday. Something the next Sunday.
Mate, you've got to remember, Rick, it's life-work balance, mate.
Yeah.
You tried telling that to the missus. What's your day off? Where you going? Koi show. Where you going on your day off? I'll go and see some koi up at Henlow. Where's it? Henlow.
Missus, will you? Henlow.
Yeah, loves it, mate.
You know, and she's going, but Rick, you're with fish 24/7.
Also, guys, I have got 75 gift cards to give away on Sunday at the National.
So we're all meeting at 10 a.m. Where are we meeting again?
9 o'clock. Car park.
So, I was at the National. I was at the showground a couple of days ago, helping put it up, and I must admit, I'm excited. They've introduced some new stuff onto the vats. It's going to be interesting how that works. But I'll tell you what, guys, seeing the amount of work that goes into putting it together is absolutely unreal. There is so much pipe work being laid, water works being sorted out, electrics being done, vats being scrubbed, disinfectant scrubbed, filled, raised and dropped to take the creases out, meticulous measurements to get everybody like at the right type of measurements in every single one, even down to the fact that if a vat weren't close enough to the viewing bar, it was being emptied, refilled once it was bought to stop people from leaning over to see the fish. You know, honest to God, the amount of level of, you know, of attention that's gone into it, you know, credits where credits due, guys. And it's opened my eyes up a little bit with regards to when you hear people moan about the small little things, they forget about all of the big things that have gone ahead, because no one's getting paid to put this on. It's all done through, you know, the love of the hobby. And I just want anybody that's going to have any sort of negative vibe on it to just bear that in mind, because it's taken a week for people and a week out of their own holidays to put it together, you know. But it looks absolutely fantastic, by the way.
I think we're doing our bit. Gaz has got loads of people coming.
Who has?
Gaz has managed to rope everyone into coming, isn't he?
There's loads of people coming. There's going to be about 15 or 20 of us all.
Oh, yeah.
And the
Big
room
group
only.
of us.
Twisty, all I'm going to say, mate, is you need to put a fucking t-shirt on if you turn up, mate.
There's no dress code.
You fucking can't be walking around looking like that, mate.
Hey, there ain't no fucking dress code. It's just a fucking quiz show.
Maybe you get right. All right, let's take you back about 6 weeks. You don't do enough for the kids. You turn up looking like that, mate, they'll be fucking running a mile.
Oh, doing a nipple twinkle, yeah.
It's fucking hot. It's fucking hot, isn't it?
Yeah, but we can all be hot with a t-shirt on. It will be hot if you're wearing leathers.
You'll have to wear ties.
Yeah.
You can wear a tie. You look good in a dicky, mate.
Dicky belt. Hooks as well.
So, yeah, I just thought I'd drop on quickly because I've got a guest. My brother's come down to see me. He's come to tell me he's going to render me pond
Next
at
year.
some point soon.
Yeah.
And when you doing it?
What's that?
Oh, don't your pond look nice? You hadn't seen it since he laid the base with me. It's only been 12 months ago, literally to the date.
Hey, hard being a builder, mate.
You are a builder.
Yeah, but it's hard being.
You
one,
need
know
to
what I
be
mean?
a
You're in
busy,
demand.
like you need to work faster so you can come
You're
and do
in
my
demand,
pond.
mate.
So how many did you win last night, Crafty? You got outbid at the last minute, a few, didn't you?
Oh, the one I really wanted, they give to somebody else, even though my bid was first.
Nah, you lost him, mate.
Mate, the flowery kahaku, the Ginrin kahaku, was a nice fish. I'm going to grow. I ain't going to lie. I'm growing them on. I'm growing them on down the shop. I want to see what they do. I bought them as learning fish, if I'm honest. You know.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
What about you? Did you win any?
I ain't got anyone. I was just wanging the prices up for everyone.
That's all I was doing, but kept losing. Kept losing them at the last minute.
I think there's one coming. I think they're all coming tomorrow, but I'm going up to a gig tomorrow, so hopefully someone will sort them out. Yeah,
Mine won't be. I'm going up next week. Actually, I'm going to buy a couple more. I think I've got the ability to dip into his male pond.
dip into his mouth. It doesn't sound good, does it?
Takes all sorts, mate, don't it? But,
yeah, we know
Richard,
about you. We know all about you and Lee.
well, mate, don't knock it till you tried it, mate.
Do you want to explain this one for Dino? How do we know if it's a Bendigo or a Orangey or a Ginring Orangey?
Well, Gimrin Orangey speaks for itself, doesn't it? Because it's sparkly. So that runs that one out of the way.
Orange
yeah,
is orange, and a Bendigo is Bene, red.
it's the colour. Go on,
Yeah, but an Orange is also metallic, where a Bendigo is not.
Yeah, I think he's more getting at perhaps not the metallic ones, the orangey ones rather than the redder ones. But yeah, if it's a solid orange non-metallic koi, it's a Bendigo, isn't it? Basically, just different level of. A nice Dainichi one might turn goldfish red, and one of our Hiatsuri orange offspring might stay very orange, but
yeah,
still Bendigo. But yeah, an Orange, if it's an Orange Ogon's a totally different beast. But yeah, you can have a Ginrin Bendigo. Well, most of the Dainichi ones aren't they? That is Red Tiger, aren't they? Mostly Ginrin.
Yeah.
But, yeah. But yeah, it's basically
Dainichi line now. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things. We've been culling off our Bendigo for 30 years because we can't sell them because plain orange koi is a plain orange koi. It's you get from Kahakus and from Hiatsuri, you get thousands of them.
Yeah.
But if you get a really nice, clean example that grows big, they do look pretty impressive.
Yeah.
You don't want any black spots on them, Gaz.
Yeah, shimmies.
Don't worry.
Quick.
I didn't want
On
to
the Dainichi one as well.
Decided they were going to grow one, but it's going to disappear, mate. Don't you worry.
Gaz got 1,000 Dainichi ones this morning, didn't you? Nice little present.
It did.
1,000 Dainichi show a fright.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And out of those 1,000,
sorry,
you Donny. Oh, that's what you ordered for Father's Day, wasn't it? That's what got ordered for Father's Day. You'll be
I
rich.
gave him 1,000 for free.
yeah, I gave
Bonus.
the mixed ones for Father's Day, but yeah, Rick gave me 1,000 for free. Very kind.
Fucking hell, mate. Someone's making some money, aren't they?
Not really, because I reckon out of that 1,000, he might have one that's worth having.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unreal.
But to be fair, yeah, the black ones from amongst, that's the trouble. You got 1,000, but you've only got probably 400 black ones. Get them sorted out tomorrow.
Yeah.
That gets your odds a bit better. And from those 400 black ones, you might have 40 that are really cool showers.
Yeah.
You might have 4 that are got half decent pattern.
Yeah, you're bursting my bubble. Mr.
I
Duba.
tell you what, he needs to have more faith in his fish, man, because
It's not about faith. It's just the numbers. Just the numbers you've got to go through. You know, if I've given you 1,000, I've got loads of thousands. No, it's not like
You got another 50,000.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just the numbers. You got to thin them down. So, but you've got the possible potential there. They are from some seriously good parents.
Yeah.
No.
So, Gaz, how
What's
are you
the
fixing? Greasing
For
out.
500 fry.
Yeah. I just want the black ones, none of them yellow ones.
Yeah, they're almost big enough to do them with a little net. Rather than siphoning them, you could do a little net amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've just
Keep
noticed that
everything
you
straight.
sat in your filter house.
Your mate?
Are you sat in your filter house?
Listen,
Yeah.
guys,
You poor bastard.
It's not allowed in here.
It's better than being in house with 4 kids.
It's better than the
Been there
doghouse,
every
I
3 hours.
suppose, isn't it?
It's better than being in house with 4 kids.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to send him a box, no. I'll send you a banner. You can put a New Forest Koi banner behind you.
You could send him your send him your bedroom from last week.
Don't write that box.
Yeah, you got
Don't
Koi,
like-
ultimate,
don't-
mini Koi, Calvo. Yeah,
Don't you like that top box?
What,
Well,
the
Adams?
AD one?
yeah. It's got nice printed boxes.
It
Costs
just
too much
means
money,
that
mate.
this is not there.
This instead of mugs.
Eh?
This instead of mugs, is it now? You started
Yeah,
a box.
box.
No, I think what he was pointing at was the Koi wholesale box in the corner.
Well, I thought everyone about that and buy one.
No, you got a Quinny Koi one there as well.
Yeah.
Line 'em up.
You never know when you might need a box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need a lot of boxes, mate. But yeah, I'm not sure I could send out koi wholesale with our fishing. It might be a bit. You might start getting.
Just a quick reminder for everybody for next week's koi appreciation. If you can all send us in the pictures of your Bendigo. Next week is going to be a Bendigo, and then the following 2 weeks.
What happened to the butterfly koi and the
That's
goldfish?
yeah, about that. Whoa. If you
Who said anything about abominations?
Well,
You pipe down.
Is that the weekend?
I'll tell everybody when you've finished. Oh.
2 weeks after?
Right, so next week,
Maybe the-
guys, it will be the Bendigo. So if you can send in the pictures of your Bendigo. The following week after, or 2 weeks after, it will be the butterfly koi.
If we look at Bendigo, are we not just going to look all at, like every single fish is just going to look the fucking same?
Yeah,
I haven't
but
got
what
one.
about this size, guys? Will they count?
Well, we're going to be looking at Bendigo next week. The following week after, we're going to be looking at butterfly koi.
Oh, that's a nice one. It looked like the one before.
And around us. So get your pictures sent in, guys. Drop them in. Because these guys are going to love appreciating them. Because it's not about what we want to see. It's what about you guys want to show us. Because at the end of the day,
Can you not sort of widen it off and like single coloured koi?
do you want to be the person that turns around and tells that little lad that picked Benny guy several months ago?
With some here,
no
and
one to have his Benny guy. We're going to fill it with other fucking fish instead.
well, actually, I think that's a quality idea.
Leo,
Let's do Benny
Crafty
koi.
reckons we should do some other fish as well because he thinks Benny guy are going to be boring. And you picked him.
No, that's not what I said. I didn't say it'd be boring. I said it'd be like every single fish we'll be looking at. Every single fish.
On. Were we looking at tan shows last week?
Well, actually,
Technically.
if we be technically correct, tan shows are only part of the Go Sankey range. So we was actually looking at fish that weren't that weren't.
I don't think there was any actual tanchos amongst them, was there?
There was a couple.
There's better be one.
Yeah.
But stuff with red spots here and there don't count.
Do you want to tell Leo Crafty that we're going to put other fish in there as well? Because I don't.
No, I didn't realise it had come from a
Next
junior.
week, guys, if you could do us a huge favour, send us in your pictures of your Benny guys. The following 2 weeks after, we want your pictures of your butterfly koi because they're going to love them even more. And then also with the butterfly koi, we need you to send in any pictures of your fancy goldfish, which in particular are randers. There we go. So I've got that one out. That did just take me like 15 minutes to tell everybody what they needed to do.
Yeah, but it was a great announcement. Anyway, guys,
would have been.
I'm going to shoot off. Thank you very much, Gaz. Love you all.
Hope you get your pond rendered soon. Not. Make him wait. Make him wait another 12 months now for that.
We were gonna bombard him Sunday.
Yeah.
What's this going to mug him? That back head with an inflatable baseball bat.
Gaz, if you take a disguise, mate, you could keep going back. Put a wig on, go back.
Yeah, that's a good
Different
idea.
shirt.
Yes.
We all stand in a big long line and we all go marching up to him going, give God, give God, give God.
As everybody else out there, please, for God's sake, give us a question.
Well,
Give us a question, please, guys. This show this evening has gone to shit. What have we got? Have we got anything?
Again.
Anybody? Yay! Butterflies. Good on you, because you picked them, Mrs. Pinker. There we go. That'll do it for me. Even if it's only you send one in, I'll have one as well. And it'll be a quick koi appreciation week.
I haven't got one.
I'll let you ring him, Crafty. There you go. Backpedaling.
I might have to do an Aaron. Do you think Aaron knows? He's going to send.
Dino's got a butterfly koi, so he'd be able to put one in.
Sweet.
Dino's got one. Good.
I'll put one in.
You should have 2 or 3 does to put in.
You can't put them all in,
There's only
You
one.
can put as many as you want.
can
He's a
you?
co-host. Well, Daz can because he's co-host, so he can put in as many as he wants in.
Am I not co-host yet?
No, not yet.
Oh no.
It's all relative. Rick.
You're on
It's
probation.
all relative.
We just
Yes,
fixed
but
it the pittance, Rick.
Special
Yeah,
guest,
really.
mate. It's on the intro. Says. And then underneath, I'm going to add. It's all relative. That's going in there. I'm going to sneak it in. Ah, dear.
I tell you what, I watched Ricky's channel earlier, and he got fired loads of questions, mate. Serious questions. What's going on here?
Well, this is not serious, is it?
It's not, is it?
No, I mean,
Obviously,
90%
We're the
appeal to a
light-hearted.
different genre.
There you go. Question: what are the benefits of using Mediclare? None.
Clogged up your filter.
Close up your filter. Yeah, you can't see your fish for a week.
Stop predators getting at them.
Adds vitamins and minerals and essential bits and pieces. It's good stuff. The right stuff's good stuff.
Yeah.
Some stuff's good stuff.
Supposedly.
I'd have to say, yeah, it
Oh,
does
that's
have,
supposedly, Si. Was that
supposedly. Yeah. No, I think certainly I used some of the Bacto Plus stuff on a batch of fish that weren't doing as they should have been doing colour-wise, and it had a big impact very quickly. So
He all died.
no, they blossomed as they should have been. So there was obviously something missing. And
Is that why you now put it in with the Mungomex as well?
sometimes can't be too careful. That water's been in there a long time.
Go buy one quick. You've got 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Pink one. Sorry.
Picking
Right.
a coin she hasn't even got in her palm.
What about this for a question? What's your thoughts on leaving 7 days between treatments when treating for parasites?
Depends on the
What would you
parasite, doesn't it?
Yeah, what I don't leave it 7 days. Depends on the temperature. I'm not going to say it because the temperature determines the life cycle of the parasite. So
It's all relevant.
It's all relative. The temperature.
Exactly. So yeah, if you imagine you've got a pond at 11 degrees and you're treating white spot and it says treat every 5 days, and your another pond's 28 degrees, that white spot's it's just totally different life cycle. The speed it will be doing it at 28 degrees would be 4 times quicker. So you need to treat 4 times quicker. It's a shorter window to treat in. So yeah, a lot of the fluke treatments say if you've got egg laying flukes, 7 days. But again, if you're in the middle of winter, there'll be eggs for weeks and weeks. If you're in the height of summer, there'll be a matter of days.
Yeah.
So it's all
Relative.
temperature dependent.
I changed it. Question, guys. Retro bottom drains, any good? Yes. As
Never
an
touched one.
alternative to a bottom drain, yes.
Yeah.
That's all relative to depending on what filter system you're running. No, they are a bloody good bit of kit.
Yeah.
They are,
Yeah.
they are good.
What stops them falling over?
Pebbles.
They got stones inside them.
And the stones that's weighted inside.
To be honest, I've never seen one.
Yeah, you fill them with gravel.
Yeah, my dad's got a big one in that little wooden pond of his. It takes up most of the bottom of the pond
Yeah.
and holds itself down. But the 2-inch one that he's got in the wildlife pond, that's actually being held down by 2 bricks. Because otherwise it just pops up and floats to the surface.
That's great. Yeah.
Sounds like a flashing paradise.
Yeah, it does sound like danger zone. So when do you reckon the first koi pond you get? Do you know in swimming pools they get those like hoovers that drive around the bottom of the pond?
Oh yeah.
You've seen them? What have koi ponds not for them?
You probably suck all your fish.
go round hoovering the bottom of your pond continuously.
That'd be a good way for harvesting eggs off the bottom of a pond, wouldn't it?
Don't really want
Yeah.
that. Must give by the time I've gone for a pump.
Fenland Lass says, can we have a week with blue on the koi, please? See,
Yes,
how it works, Fenland Lass, is what we do is every week I give this little thing at the top of the comments for you to all click on and join, and anybody can come on and join us whenever they wish. And what we do is when somebody that's new comes on, we get them to pick a fish. Last week, Mrs. Pinkett picked what she picked. Weeks before was picked, well, many weeks before was picked by Leo when he came on with his dad. And that's what we do. It's not for me, it's not us. We don't decide, it's for you. But ideally, I want to start encouraging more and more people, not necessarily YouTube channels, just members of public, anybody that wants to come on, sit and talk some relative conversation.
I know where she's coming though. She brought 2 with blue on yesterday. A blue come on rule.
Right. Oh, we've done come on rules already. We've had that one.
Did we?
You're 3 weeks too late.
We had Matt Sakau back. We didn't have come on rule.
And their Deutsch counterpart.
Yes,
no
we
one
did.
told me that, did we?
Yes,
I could have got
we
some
did.
on there.
Yeah.
We just didn't do Benny Kumon rule.
What was the other blue fish you got?
A Shisui.
Suey.
A budget. You bought a budget. You bought a budget. You went all that way and bought a budget.
And a shear at Syria, I believe.
Oh,
Oh, good girl.
we haven't had that one yet.
No.
So yeah.
In
If
fact, we
anyone
haven't had
wants to
any
come on now
service. have we?
and join us and pick a fish in 4 weeks' time, feel free. Sorry, Daz?
We haven't had any series of any kind, have we?
We haven't yet, no. No. There's plenty
That's,
to go.
that's too
yeah.
serious, though, isn't it? Next, we got randers and butterflies before we do shear at Syria and show up.
Oh, no.
I'm on the wrong channel here, aren't I?
They got to give the public what they want, and if there's only
For
two
the
or three
public.
butterflies get sent in,
By the
if
public.
there's only two,
Exactly.
if there's only 2 or 3 butterflies that are sent in, then we instead of waiting a fortnight for the next one, we will do a faster one and do it as a week turnout. How's that?
Yeah.
I reckon there'll be loads of butterflies sent in.
I do.
MJ, I just simply say out the rules. The rules are you can have any fish you wish, but the person needs to come on and needs to pick said fish. So it's as simple as that. Anybody wants to pick a
You've got to
fish?
be in it
click
to
on
win
the
it.
link, come in, tell the public what fish you would like everybody to be looking at on the next one.
There we go.
We the people. Yeah, we the people. There you go. It's like
I knew
it's like
Simon would pick up on that one.
But yeah, it's just a little bit of some fun, isn't it? I mean, if you want, we can start doing it weekly. Give us something else to talk about. Instead of the,
Ponds
I mean,
and filters.
ponds and filters and bacteria and everything else that always seems to get rinsed and repeated week in, week out.
Yeah.
There was a question there.
We could always do a live for Brian. What did the Romans ever do for us?
I'm not going down that road.
No.
Oh, God. I'm here all week.
Johnny says, how are the YouTubers' choice fry going, Rika?
They're
Oh,
flying.
there
Yeah,
we
they're doing good. I've got them in three different ponds. So the ones that are heated, not heated, the ones that are in the polytunnel are, I think it says about 7 centimetre maybe now. So
7 cm. Here we go. This is going to be a barrel of laughs.
So, yeah, doing all right.
Artist formerly known.
It should say artist formerly known as P&G.
Well, yeah. I only see the KNO. ...
It should appear when you drop the comment off. It should appear. There it is. There.
Oh, there you go.
Just new name for the
Calling
week.
yourself an artist now.
Well,
You started painting.
I'll certainly cut it. I'll certainly cut it for my YouTube days.
There you go.
Have you
Right.
come to pick a fish?
Yes, I have.
Hey, there we go. We got one.
Knowing how
Somebody
knowing how
finally
fish,
took the bait.
knowing how Vince doesn't like butterfly just as much as he doesn't like Sankey, how about butterfly Sankey?
They could be in there.
Butterfly Sankeys technically could come out next week because they're a butterfly.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll go with butterfly Sankey.
Well, that's what I mean.
They'll be in with a butterfly.
They'll be in with the butterflies. Any type of butterflies. Mine's going to be a Kajaku butterfly.
That's as bad as looking at them stupid Tancho goldfish things.
The Arandas.
Tancho goldfish?
And yeah, they look like a goldfish, but they're like a Tancho. Stupid.
Red cap Arandas.
Red caps. Yeah,
We used to breed the things. They're a lot easier to do than koi.
Someone mentioned having blue in koi. I know there is a fish out there that looks a bit like a kwaku, but instead of being orange, it's the colour's blue. What's that? What fish is that called?
It's definitely not a kwaku, anyway.
No, the pattern looks like kwaku, but instead of being orange, it's blue. What's that?
Yeah, it's called Photoshop.
Yeah, I think that's the inverted negative picture.
Hang on, I might be able to show you one.
It's definitely a blue achiever.
It's just photoshopped.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Kwaku.
it's Photoshop. They did a green.
They did a green one as well, but they did look cool.
Aaron thought it was lovely. Good one.
Yes, can you check volume on your side? Because I can barely hear it.
Turn it up on who?
Hey?
Turn the volume up for who?
Oh, it's up.
No, who do you want the volume turning up on?
Everyone.
My volume's up.
Yeah, mine's up.
Says mine.
Everybody should be, I believe. That turned yours completely off.
You muted him.
Edit my settings.
No, what's the way? I can barely hear it.
Appears I can't share my screen.
Gaz is frozen.
I'm not. I'm
I'm
changing everybody's mic settings and turning them up max, so it helps.
And you hear me.
Everybody's back up now. Everybody's up at 200%, so that's
200%.
Yeah, it goes up to 200%. Apparently.
No.
Oh shit! It's all right.
That's all, man.
We're celebrity squares in again.
Just go round and round. Isn't it? Gaz never changes place, though, does he?
No.
That sounds better. That sounds better.
That's better.
No, that's not better.
Downgraded. That's better.
Now you're looking at people the size of your thumbnail. Is that better? Is that louder for everybody?
Sounds a bit better.
It sounds the same as before. They want
Sounds the same to me. Yeah, all the same.
So come on,
I think it's just your phone time.
You what?
Vince, you're loud as hell now.
I said it must just be your phone, Simon.
Maybe so.
Could be.
Shitty Galaxy.
Could fly up north, Polypod, and pick the next toy.
He's not allowed.
Why?
To be fair, he is a guest on the show.
Yes, he is.
I mean, Mr. Webb came on and picked a fish that we've already had, and now he's gone on to some YouTube random search. So, so for you, Si, would you like to pick a toy? How about a chag? Since you've got a big one of them.
Yeah, go on, have
I
a check.
think we haven't done shower yet, have we?
No.
Everyone's got shower.
I've got one. A Kigoi.
Kigoi.
Not many people have got Kegel. That's the problem.
Oh, my God.
Have you got a Gaz, have you actually got one yourself? Because it would help if you're picking a fish to show.
All right, okay, go with Chagoi. I've got a Chag.
Right.
Chagoy.
So,
Pencil that in.
Write this down, Secretary. Si up North Koi Pond has picked shower. And the one to follow the shower is going to be the chag. I'm going, sorry. Oh, we lost. See what it does.
We're going to have to do it weekly.
If the ain't got a shower left, that is left the show.
So we're going to have to do it weekly to catch up with this lot.
Catch up with this lot. Right, so we'll do it weekly. So, right. Next week is going to be
Bendigo.
Next week is going to be the Bendigo. Following week after is going to be the butterfly koi. The week after that's going to be shower. The week after that is going to be chags.
Chagoi.
That's weekly, Vicky. If you could make a note of that for me, please, that would be appreciated. How about 2 months ahead now? Yeah. That's what
Is it just limited to chagoi, or is it open to karashi, sorogoi?
Well, if you were going to do that, then it wouldn't be chagoi, would it? It'd be saragoi.
It may as well be. Same on pretty much.
The single colours, but that means we'd include every single coloured fish.
Yeah. Nail it. Simple. Chagoi. Because we might run out. We might need to do sorogoi another week.
Yeah. We might run out quickly. Because there's not that many different varieties, is there?
No.
But does that rule out my Charasuri?
Yeah, because that's a Charasura.
But it's a Chagoi with an Atsuri pattern.
From one side it's a chag, from the other side is a Charasura. So I mean you could use that twice.
I had them fry out other day, Vince.
Yeah.
Them fry I had off you.
Yeah.
They're doing well now. I had them in ball. Biggest one's about 20 cm now.
Oh, you've done well on them with the fish tank, then, boy.
Yeah, doing well. There's 2 or 3 on them. 2 or 3 on them what are still a bit scrawny, but others are doing well.
Oh, your boy's done well on them. Are you pleased with them?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, loves them.
Good.
What does a Kigoi look like?
It's
a yellow. It's a yellow ogon.
But it's not metallic.
There's a nice picture in your Bible, Gaz.
Is it? Oh, excuse me. Oh, I just turned to the Bible.
But because of the creation of the yellow monkey karashi koi, Kigoi has now become extinct because
I'm not sure extinct.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
It'll come back.
Yeah.
Everything comes round again, doesn't it? Well, look at Bendigo.
Yeah. I think with the millions of them I've poured down the drain.
Yeah.
Mind you, what's Sakai doing now? Shiro Muji?
Yeah. Big Shiro Muji.
No.
Yeah. Don't matter how big that.
They're just always failed carcus.
Yeah. I've got some. Can't sell the things.
Yeah, Daz has got loads.
I don't know why I didn't just think I've got a Kikasui in my pod. How about Kikasui? Have we done that one yet?
No, we haven't.
I mean, you've chosen Chagoi. You can't go changing.
Oh, no, I'll have both. I'll have Chagoi 1 week and Kikasui the next week.
You always get one greedy bastard, don't you?
You know me, Vince. I never used to do things by halves, so why start now?
Gaz is lost in the Bible, verse 7, chapter 6.
Line 72.
176.
Third paragraph.
Gaz, it's a yellow Chagoi, mate. With red eyes normally.
Yes, with red eyes.
What? So which one? The middle one?
Well, it certainly ain't the left or the right.
I can't read it from here.
The left you got there's a Yamabuki Ogon. The right's a Matsuba.
Yep.
So the middle one, if there's a Kigo on there, it's got to be the middle one. Is it yellow?
I'd say so, yeah.
Is that
It's a
right?
bit dark. It's a bit dark. It's a little bit difficult to tell. Oh, God damn.
It just translates yellow carp, Kigoi, yellow carp.
Yeah.
Perhaps we should do a whole thing of translation. Chagoi, teacup.
I shall put the Bible away, folks. Sorry. Just a shitty yellow carp.
Do you know what Krashagoi is? Come on. Krashagoi, come on, Gaz.
It's all relevant, mate. It was relevant while I had the book out. It's not no more.
Is it not relevant anymore?
It's not relevant now. We've gone from relative to relevant.
Go on.
Can't
Tell
help
me, mate. No, I don't know. Go on.
Mustard carp.
Seriously.
Seriously. You think of all Chagoi, teacup, Kigoi, yellow carp, Magoi, black carp, Krashagoi, mustard carp.
He
What's
just making
sorrowful
it
now? Grey carp.
Blue, I mean blue, sorry, yeah. But yeah, basically they're all just the
concrete
colour carp. We give them all these names. There's a yellow carp. There's a brown carp. That's it.
And
Do
generally,
you actually spawn many Midorigoi?
I do. Do I?
do you?
Don't know what this is about.
A Midorigoi?
Midori guy.
That's green carp.
Green.
Isn't it?
I used to have a Midori, guys.
I start with loads, but they change.
Yeah.
Like a budgie, aren't they?
Like, yeah, yellowy greeny colour. But, yeah. Not
Oh, God damn.
don't have any good big ones.
What are you? like a budget.
Yeah.
Green budgie.
Like a budgie,
No,
yellow
that's
and green.
Shasui.
All
Huh?
right.
No, Midori,
You were
guys.
taking piss.
No. Shasui looks like a budgie, not a Midorigoi.
Midori, guys, got yellow and green on it, hasn't it?
Yeah, there's more chance of it looking like a canary than a budgie.
Now he's getting
That's
picky,
what I
isn't
meant.
I'm terribly sorry, guys. The show has gone to shit. It's finally done. We've finished. We've had concrete
That's what I
koi,
meant.
We've had yellow koi, mustard koi, and now we've got budgie koi and canary koi. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen,
Canary koi.
I'm going to bring this craziness to an end because everybody's losing the plot. So,
I think
did you
there's
get
more of us here, Gaz, than that's watching.
Yeah. There has been most of the
Not
night.
bad.
I want a Midori. What? Which one's that?
Midori boy.
I want a decent Midorigoi. I've been after one for years. But it's getting that right yellowy green. Okay.
They tend to change. They look good when they're small, and then keep developing to become more orangey brown.
Yeah.
Yes, you should. Yeah, Dino should have picked one when he came on.
Yeah,
You should. You should have picked one when you come on.
we'll have to pick one for the following week.
Pick one now and post it in there, mate, whichever one you'd want to go with. And don't go with your 13-year-old dog.
Pomeranian.
When I asked him how long he's had the pond, he thought I was asking how long he had the pond. And he answered 13 years because that was the age of the dog. But it was, so you've only had your pond 3 years. Pick a koi, mate.
Gaz, I thought you said pom.
Pomeranian, yeah.
Yeah.
It's that northern accent.
He's done it. That means I have to go out and buy one. Lemon Harawaki. Vicky, can you make a note of that, please? Dino wants to pick for the following week lemon Harawaki.
He did have a nice one in his pond, didn't he?
He did have a nice
He
one.
did.
Yeah,
It does, yeah.
it's a very nice one.
There we
I
go.
want one of them. It's doable. Doable. Now then, there's a challenge for you, gentlemen. In your next videos that you do, you've got to get that word in. Doable. It's got to be in a sentence somewhere in one of your next videos. So all you YouTubers out there, that crazy
Doable.
Crazy enough to be watching this crap. Get the word usable in your next video. I want to see everybody do it. And each week, I'm going to give you another word that you can try fit and wiggle into a video.
That's where it's going, isn't it?
Where it's going. Where it's going. It's got to be done. Usable. And that's because I said something over there, so everybody took piss. So we're all going to see if we can get it used as often as we can. So make it the new word, usable.
It's fine.
You're looking like it's not.
Yeah, that sounds like proper Spanglish.
There we go. Lemon Arawaki. Wicked. That's going to be. I'm going to enjoy watching that one. Looking at them.
Yeah.
That's
I thought you were shutting this down.
It's what?
I thought you were shutting this down about 10 minutes ago.
I am. I'm just literally about to say that's 3.5 hours. So thanks very much to everybody that's tuned in for this craziness this evening. Usual thing, guys. If you do us a huge favour, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. And until next.
As always, keep smiling.
There it is. Keep smiling all. Thanks very much for joining us. Don't forget to post in your pictures of your fish. We'll see you on the next one. Take care, all. Good night.
Night, everyone.
Yeah.